Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll talk about PlayStation exceeding 92.2 million in a great year-over-year return, the Nintendo Direct and our impressions, Xbox's financials, and much more. But before we get into that, we're going to see what everybody's been playing, and then we'll jump right into these topics. Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I've been kind of all over the place. I finally, got to pick up my first anticipated game for 2026. Karen, fantastic game. I beat it. I platted it. Like it was just an amazing experience. 10 out of 10. I knew I would like it. Like obviously, I played the demo and I enjoyed it, but it was so much deeper than I initially thought that it was. The story itself was great. You and Fox were watching me play for a little bit, and it was just it's hard to explain really how good that game is. And you can see a lot of it online. Like it's getting a lot of love and praise, and I think they reached like 300,000 or 400,000 people that bought the game for them. So I'm happy for the team. I know they're happy. I'm probably they probably already exceeded their goal, so I'm happy for them. And um, yeah, it's that kind of game that it's really like anxiety filled. Like it really puts your nerve to the test. Trying to make sure that you're climbing correctly, you have the right tools, you have the right supplies. Um, you have you have stamina and everything like that. So you have to be careful um how you climb, and you have to plan, the correct way to climb. And it gets harder as you go, right? Like I felt like almost like I was Karen by the time I got to like the last section of the mountain, where I can just see the top, but I still have a ways to go. And she's exhausted, and I'm at the end of my nerves. I'm like, oh my god, bro, I just need to get to the top. Like, but when I finally did, it was so worth it. That ending was great. But there's basically like two endings you can do in the game. One is come down from the mountain, and the other is finish climbing the mountain. And I did both, and it was really good. Um, yeah. Uh, like I said, first game for 2026, and it was great. No complaints. I think it took me like 20 hours to plat it, so it wasn't too bad. Um, but yeah, people make fun of me when I say I got the eye. Like I can always tell when a game is about to hit. Like I could just look at a trailer and be like, yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Um, and I knew from the first time I saw this game, I was like, yeah, that's it right there. So yeah, congrats to the Game Breakers team because it's such a great game. And if you haven't played Karen, I highly recommend it. I don't know if the demo is still up because obviously there was a demo before the game came out. But now that it's out, I don't know if it's still up right now. But I think it's only like $25 or something like that. So yeah, if you have a PlayStation or a PC, I highly recommend to pick up Karen. If you like games kind of like simulators, or if you're a fan of Death Stranding, things like that, I think you'll like this game. But I also played the Pragmata demo. Really short demo, right? Like only like it was like less than 30 minutes. It was a good demo though. It kind of just show you like the basics of the game, the gameplay, the different weapons, and kind of how you'll be playing this interesting combat of mix between hacking and shooting. Um, I definitely said that if they ever brought the demo to PlayStation, I'd check it out because I've been kind of on the game. The trailer didn't really convince me. I was just like, it doesn't really look something I would play. But after playing the demo, I kind of like it. Like I get what they were going for. Um, and it looks like it's definitely gonna be intense. Like they had one section where like 4 or 5 robots came at me at the same time, and I'm sitting there trying to hack everybody, while trying to move out the way so they don't hit me, so that then I can, shoot them. And I'm like, okay, so this is gonna get intricate. At least, probably not at the beginning, but towards like the middle and end, it's gonna get a little intense. And then there was the boss fight at the end, which was good. It was it kept me on my toes. So I think I will pick up Pragmata. It looks good. Um, the only negative thing I have to say is like it kind of has that weird blurry look on PS5. Like it kind of reminds me of how Final Fantasy 16 looked at launch when you played it on the performance mode, that weird Vaseline look that it had. Which is kind of surprising from Capcom because the RE engine is like really good and it's really done well on PlayStation. Like at least when the Resident Evil games, they had the 60 and the 4K and then ray tracing and stuff like that. So I don't know if they're using the RE engine for this game. Um, but yeah, it's they still have time. I think it's coming out in April or something like that. So there's still time to like tweak it and fix like um the graphics and things like that. But yeah, it looked like it really needed some anti-aliasing, and you could definitely tell because they did have a bar or where you could change it from quality to performance mode, and switching back and forth you could like immediately see the big difference between the two modes. Usually when I'm playing a game and I switch between quality and 60 FPS, you can a little bit tell that something's some images are like a little bit crisper, but it's not that big of a difference. But for this game, it was like it was like night and day. I was like, oh God, it looks so much better in 30, but I'm not playing the game at 30. So um, yeah, hopefully Capcom can get that tightened up by the time launch happens. So we'll see. But yeah, the gameplay itself though is the gameplay loop itself is fun. So it's good to see Capcom join the sad dad escapade of PlayStation now. But I'm sure people will like it now because it's not associated with PlayStation. So they won't have a problem with this type of partnership now. Um but also still playing Octopath, still on Octopath. Like I am, oh shoot, like 91% through the game. So like I am like at the very end act of the game. I'm 170 hours in. So maybe by hour 200 I will be done and hopefully platinum this game. I still don't understand how I've seen people platinum the game in like 80 hours. But again, I bullshit a lot. Like I like to go around and I farm a lot and I do XP and I do a lot of extra stuff. So maybe that's why. But I'm still trying to figure out like even if you like beeline this game, which is kind of hard because again, Octopath isn't necessarily easy. You have to, especially if you're beelining it and you're not, getting your experience up and kind of going God mode, kind of like I did. Um, I can uh I can only imagine how difficult that would be. But I guess maybe people got skills like that. So kudos to them. But I'm hoping to get this done because, March is like, I think the month for me when basically goes to like chaos. I think there's like 6 or 7 games in March that I want that I've like put on my wish list that I'm planning on playing day one. And a lot of them are like, here there's a game one day and then literally like the next day or 2 days after another game comes out and then the next day another game comes out. So um I'm not gonna have a choice but to hurry up and finish Octopath so I can start on the 2026 backlog, or not backlog but the 2026 new games. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Sounds good. Omar, what have you been playing, sir? Also, make sure your sound is not coming through your TV
Yeah, sorry.
because.
I thought I was sharing that we live, but for some reason my mobile was loud. Okay,
Yeah.
so I finished Wukong, including the secret path, which was a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, I had the opposite exper- uh, experience versus a lot of people on uh, on the internet. People were struggling with bosses that I was literally destroyed, and I'm struggling with bosses people literally destroy, which is what fun. Final boss was a lot more difficult for me than the secret boss, which is a rarity. I hate the final boss. It's such a troll. I am pretty sure you have seen what they would do. It fuck with your mind, but yeah, no. Wukong, amazing game. Uh, I enjoyed a lot about it. I can't wait for the next installment. This is a W the same way Stellar Blade was, or what you call it, the game from Ember Lab, um, Ken, Kena. Uh, I just hope with their next game, put a minimap. I can't stress that much. Put a minimap. Besides that, yeah, no. Since I'm done with Wukong, I'm going to try for the platinum. If not, I will just start either Lost Soul Aside or what you call it, Unicorn Overload before the actual backlog start dropping. I have yet to play Pragmata. I did download the demo, so I need to see how it is on PlayStation. But yeah, that's about it for me.
The first week, you're not playing like 47 demos and, some tinky winky ass game. I'm surprised.
Dude, I have been literally on Wukong. That's it. Which I looked up afterwards who of you guys finished it. I know Kay did. Um, I thought you were close, but yeah, no, you're not. You're 7%. At least
I
on
am
the
I am
trophy.
not, sir. Did you? This is how I know you don't ever listen to me. I have Wukong on PlayStation and PC, and I said I stopped playing on PlayStation because the higher frame rate made the
Oh,
reactions
okay. That
You know this
better.
man don't listen.
Like
okay. That
never,
no,
never.
I remember it. I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So no.
because I do remember you saying you're close to the end. So
Yes,
when I
on
saw the
PC.
PlayStation part,
This
yeah,
man
okay.
just lurking. So I decided to look on all your PSNs to see who finished it. This
I
motherfucker.
was just curious who enjoyed the
I
game
bet
as
you
much as
were.
me.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the game at 100+ FPS. That's what I enjoyed.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, I don't blame you because there were moments where like my PlayStation is like the screen is getting printed. So I just thought for a second, is my TV dying on me?
Yeah.
But luckily it just Wukong being Wukong.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Which, not gonna lie, I finished Wukong without any day one patch. That legit the plus that physical have over digital. Because
Why
I
did
didn't
you
have a
play without the day one patch?
yeah, I finished Wukong without the day
Why?
one patch.
Why?
Okay, so I had no idea if they nerfed weapons or they buffed enemies or did anything like that. I didn't want to risk it. I wanted to enjoy it.
So you didn't just look up what it did.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to spoil myself with a lot
So
of
Oh
instead
my
of
spoilers.
instead
god.
of getting better performance and
I
you
never.
decided to
No,
just just
actually,
just
no, real
go.
talk, real talk, real talk. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but my game started having uh, screen tearing after I updated my day one to the day one patch and updated to complete. Because you need to update it in order to do something to get to the secret challenge to get the platinum. But the secret challenge is only available after updating from the day one to the day one patch. And I did that after finishing the game because you only unlock the secret challenge after you finish the game. So
This man.
Lord have mercy.
I am. I wish I could
Jesus.
have what you call it. being able to get a secret challenge without updating, because this is literally a case of Returnal, where playing without the day one patch is far better experience than after updating.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole another thing for you. But yeah, only Omar, man. Only you, Omar. Um, but yeah, as for myself, like I said, I finished Octopath Traveler 2 or 0, sorry. Um, over the since the last time we done the show. Enjoyed the game thoroughly. I'm pretty close to the platinum. I don't know if I'll go for it. We'll see. I just got so much stuff to play. Um, I'm still pushing towards one of these titles being my 200th platinum. I just don't know which one it's going to be at this point. Um, I have to get through Karen as well. So I do have access to that. I only really messed with the tutorial just to kind of get the hang of it and see how, um, how the rock climbing worked and how intuitive it felt and stuff like that. So, yeah, makes me really understand after watching Morgan play how daunting climbing that ridiculous sized mountain is ultimately going to be when I do get around to it. Um, and then I am working on something else. One of the guys in one of my friend groups reached out and was asking if somebody could review a title for them. Something that I'm more interested in. It was, of course, Steam only, the way they had it set up. But basically doing impressions so far for them on an upcoming title that looks more like XCOM, but a lot more grounded in reality, where you play kind of like mercenaries, and so on and so forth. So I'm doing a in progress review for them for Warhounds. So that's exciting. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. Getting early access to something, and being able to do that for them. Just because, like we were saying, there's so much stuff coming out. Their team was kind of full, so I was like, yeah, I could do it. And then,
Not gonna lie, I looked up the gameplay, it looked fun.
yeah, it is fun. I haven't run into that issue where you have 90% chance to shoot somebody and you miss like
Okay,
XCOM. So
you still stand. Oh, fuck you.
no, it's opposite of that. It's not like
Oh,
that. Yeah, like I haven't missed a shot over like 70% yet. So
okay, so it's a little bit on the easier side. Gotcha.
yeah, but I mean, they will still punish you for
Yeah, no, I get
you
it.
can shoot your own people, so you got to be careful about your line of sight, and
Oh, okay.
you also have to be careful of obstacles. So if you're gonna shoot, you can still miss because you shot a box or something that was in the way. So there is that too.
And I'm pretty
Um,
sure your advantage is their advantage as well.
your what?
Your advantage that you're not missing is happening for them as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need
So
to make sure you
yeah,
maintain cover and so on and so forth,
yeah.
and watch your positioning. So yeah, um, so yeah, playing that as well. And then I also started um, after I finished Octopath Traveler 0, at the 48 hour early access to Dragon Quest Reimagine. So I started that. It is a traditional slow start. I think I've only fought like what feels like 5 times or something. Like, man, it's really on the low end when it comes to fighting in the start of this game. Um, it seems like they are just like risk averse or something to fighting early on in this game. So I'm finally getting to the point where my characters are starting to level up a little bit, starting to get some of their skills. I'm still pretty early on in the game, but it's been enjoyable so far. Um, any of you guys that have ever listened to me talk about the series, I'm not the biggest fan of the series. I don't hate it. I just don't think it is the greatest thing since sliced bread, as a lot of people
Now don't
do.
listen to him.
A lot of
He is a
people freak
certified
out.
Dragon Quest hater. Okay.
I am not.
He got the official badge for Dragon Quest hating.
I do not. I have completed Dragon Quest 11. I've completed
That's what
Dragon
all haters
Quest
say.
8.
I've played the series, but it's
No,
just trash.
I am the hater with this one. He's more the optimistic when it comes to Dragon Quest. I'm the one that don't fuck with what I played from the demo.
Yeah, like I said, it's been cool so far.
It's
But
simplistic, right? Like, yeah, it's super simplistic and basic.
yeah,
Which I understand. It gets hectic down the road.
yeah, it's not going to get much more complicated than that. Like that's just how Dragon Quest is. Unless they finally change it with Dragon Quest 12 and add some form of complexity and more strategy. Like I said, it's not like a bad thing. I mean, I know somebody was having one of the guys that's like a big JRPG reviewer or whatever. He was talking about having his child play it, and she was doing great because the game is just not hard. Like, she was overdoing it. She was always using the fireball spell or something. But that's what I mean when I say, like, people always want to get mad because they like it. And when I say it's like baby's first, JRPG, but honestly, it really is. It's not complicated. It's very simple. It's straight to the point. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. But I mean, that's fine. Like I said, I'm still enjoying it. It's been alright so far. I'm sure I'm playing 5 other games here and there, but I'm playing so much stuff right now, it's like hard to even remember. I did start the Fire Emblem that was released for the Nintendo Switch 2's GameCube library. Since I did play that back then, but it's been a long time, and considering Nintendo is taking their sweet time, showing me a release date for the upcoming Fire Emblem, or giving me, the 60 FPS patches for the Xenoblade series, then, I got to play what I can on there. And then I'm also at the very, very end of Bravely Default, the remaster, or the Fairy something HD remaster. The name for that title is like super long. So yeah, I'm almost done with that as well. I'm like, I don't know, I've like been high enough to level. I actually looked at my old 3DS save. I was apparently like in my 70s when I beat the game before, and I'm already like 93 on this playthrough, and I'm not even anywhere near that. So yeah, just like one more class to get and one more person to beat, and I'll be there. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit of everything, including Mega Bonk for PC, which has been a lot of fun as well. Anybody that's seen that game, it's kind of like 3D Vampire Survivors. I mean, literally. And that game being only $10, they really hit a lick with that one and went crazy, and it's been getting a lot of updates and stuff. So shout out to the success of that game, because another indie game doing really, really well, which has been a big plus for a lot of us lately. We've been getting a lot of really, really great indie titles. As Morgan mentioned, Karen earlier doing really well as well. I think they announced over 200,000 in like the first couple of days, and then, like she said, now they're headed towards 300,000 or 400,000. So yeah, congrats to them. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into our first topic here. So the Nintendo Direct happened. I'm assuming most of you guys have seen it by now. They did state that it was a partner showcase, so nothing from them really shown. They showed quite a few ports, which is mainly the stuff that they did show. Anybody who's seen it at this point, Nintendo Switch 2 is kind of in that catch-up state where they're like, we can do that too. So, they presented, Pragmata coming to the Switch 2, as well as the demo launching for that. Digimon Time Stranger Stories coming to the Switch 2 at 4K 30 and 1080p 60, which is launching also on other consoles for whatever reason. Like I said, you guys probably heard me talk about this before when I originally bought the game. I do not know what the issue is with Bandai Namco when it comes to certain games and their programming being so bad. I do not understand them holding the 60 frames per second mode hostage on until the Switch 2 launch. But yeah, apparently they really struggled with development for that game. Apparently, like they just didn't have all that much faith in it at first. So there was a bunch of troubled development with that game. But of course, in true typical fashion, you got people lying about it, like Nintendo. A lot of Nintendo Switch fans, saying, well, clearly the Switch 2 is the superior version, claiming 4K 60 and all these other lies that are not true. But yeah, because of course the lying and misinformation in the gaming community online is as prevalent and crazy as ever. Um, but yeah, like I said, the game had a bunch of issues during development. Apparently, there's a major leak of some sort, including even on the PC version, which is where I eventually bought it so I could play it at 165 FPS at max settings. I personally haven't had any issues, but somebody else was stating after playing for a couple hours, around 5 or 6 hours plus, they would run into dropped frames even while playing on an RTX 5080, which is crazy because this game basically, while beautiful, its art style essentially dictates it should be playable on a cell phone at this point. So yeah, I don't know what was going on with the development for that, but hopefully Bandai will get it together because, like I said, that's pretty disappointing to launch a title with these powerful systems on something that should clearly be able to handle it, and then have it be delayed, and have your fan base essentially wait for another platform to hit 60 FPS. It should not take them that. They are a major publisher in the game, and yeah, that's disappointing. But thankfully, they did correct it. But yeah, that shouldn't be an issue these days. I know they showed a couple other titles that people were excited about. I know they showed Final Fantasy VII as well, which some people, are going crazy over. Whether or not you were looking forward to some of these titles, I guess, it is what it is. Personally, my impressions of the show, it could have been a blog post, and that's essentially how I saw it later. Thankfully, I did not wake up for this because it was super early. Just to basically see a bunch of ports be announced for the Switch 2. I just basically scrolled through what Wario posted, saw all the announcements, and was just like, oh, so nothing happened. But yeah, like I said, overall, like I said, I did go back and check it out. The show was just, man, I don't even know what to rate it. I was so disappointed. I'm gonna be honest, so I'm just not, because honestly, I don't even know why there was a show. Like, it really would just annoyed me. So, yeah, that's my impression and opinion on it. Omar, did you watch the show or catch up? What was your opinion on the Nintendo Direct? Omar?
Great
Sorry,
opinion, Omar.
I was muted. I went back and watched it before we started, and literally out of the entire game, out of the entire show, just two games I'm interested in: Kyoto Sandur, which is, I am not sure if I need to play the first one, and
Tokyo,
the
you mean
other
the
game,
Tokyo Xanadu re-release?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a Metroidvania that I'm excited about. And the other one is Another Eden, which is old school Chrono, Chrono Trigger gameplay, which is I'm super excited about. Besides that, yeah, no, not only could this have been a blog post, I understand why they did it because they literally want to showcase their um, catching up, which now getting rebirth. Um, and with new games like Pragmata, but at the end of the day, it was Arguably one of the worst Nintendo showcase out there I've ever seen. So yeah, a, a 0 out of 10. That's how disappointed I was. You you don't even need to watch it on YouTube. Just look up all the game announcement, and you can go through it in 10 minutes. That's how bad it was. I'm so glad you didn't go live for this one.
Oh yeah, I
I
mean,
was
I knew,
outside.
I knew better than that, so I
I was
just,
out. I was outside, so I couldn't even watch myself.
yeah,
But on the road, I was worried that I'm missing out. But holy shit, I'm disappointed. I want my 10 minutes back, dude. That's how disappointed I am.
yeah, I don't blame you. Um, Morgan, I know that you saw what was announced. Was there anything that you were surprised about, or what was your overall impression of the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, I caught it live. I'm surprised that I wasted my time on that, to be honest. It was utter garbage of just ports of games that already exist that are coming to Switch, which I mean, sure, if you're a Nintendo only gamer and you were looking forward to these games coming to your platform, then I'm happy for you. Like I'm not going, you know, dance over your party or whatever. It's just for me, I was just like, this is I don't care about this. Where are the Nintendo first party games? Like I get it, it's a partner showcase and everything like that, but I just feel like as far as a launch lineup goes for the Nintendo Switch 2, it's been kind of weak. Like they've had Donkey Kong, Metroid, and Mario Kart, and then that's been it. I mean, I was just kind of hoping that they'd start off the year with what they were gonna drop for 2026, but it was just it wasn't that good. And then of course to the sighs heard around the world, they decided to end the show with freaking Bethesda. The announcements of Indiana Jones and Fallout 4 and all these games coming to Switch. I caution anybody who's planning on getting those games to wait to see the review on that,
Yeah,
because Bethesda's history with porting or updates or DLC or even their games is just a history of unoptimized mess. And if you're adding in the form factor of a Switch to a Bethesda game, wait, just wait. I'm not saying it could be a great port, but I would just advise waiting on that. Um, but yeah, I mean, cool. People get to now spend full price on Switch for games that are 3 to 4 years old now. Um, I think what people really wanted to see, at least from what I saw from the chat, was they were looking for Silk Song, um, the sequel, but they got the Hollow Knight remaster or whatever. And people were really pissed about that shit. Like, you gonna show up, but just give us a remaster? Yeah, I understand.
so wait, it
But yeah,
didn't launch on the system? I thought it
I don't know.
launched.
I think they're looking for like the Switch 2 version. I think that's what it
Oh,
was.
okay,
Like,
specifically
yeah,
Switch 2. Okay. So they probably
specifically, yeah,
got the Switch 1 variant, and then they were just like, that's good enough. Got you.
yeah. People were a little upset with that. Which I think that's a fair ask. Um, so yeah, it didn't. It just felt like a waste of time. Yeah, because after I saw it, I literally told Anae, I was like, yeah, this definitely could have been just a tweet. But again, they gotta show love to their partners. They're finally starting to get the third party AAA game. So I think this showcase was more for a showing that Nintendo, has a place in the AAA sector, right? That they can play the games that other systems can. Maybe not to the best and the highest caliber that other systems can, but hey, we can play Final Fantasy 7. We can play Indiana Jones, blah blah blah. It's just kind of Nintendo just putting their foot out there that they're capable of running AAA games, which is cool. I guess I wouldn't be my first choice, but hey, if you're a Nintendo fan, I guess this is a good thing. So Yeah, I don't even want to rate this show because it was just like, one, I
Yeah.
don't have a Switch anyway, so I don't really care, and two, I just feel like I'm out of place trying to rate the show. It just was not for me.
Understandable. Hey, Thrifty man, I see you were able to jump in. We could test your audio here for a sec. But yeah, what was your impression of the Nintendo Direct?
They had a Nintendo Direct?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Stop Thrifty. Good to see you
It's
too.
like, so I don't own a Nintendo. My son does. He no longer uses it now that they got the PS5. He was on it for the first time like today, and he
Yeah.
was on it for 20 minutes to play Minecraft because there was an update for for Genshin, I think, or something like so. It was like he cares nothing about the Nintendo anymore. I care very little, and it sounds like I didn't miss a single thing when Morgan was discussing that this is something good that they're trying to show that they can hang in the AAA space. Like, too little, too late. I mean, I don't
Oh
know of
man,
anybody who wants to play these games that hasn't already gotten a PC, an Xbox, a Series S, like, and to the point of they want to show that they can play them. There's Samsung refrigerators that can play some of these games. That doesn't mean people want to play them on a Samsung refrigerator.
True.
man, you hating this? The Switch 2 is on par. That's what I keep hearing online. It's on par with the PS5, if not better.
No, it's
So.
better than PS5. Did you not get the memo?
Yep. And to be good in golf, you can't just rely on being on par. You have to get a couple birdies, maybe an eagle here and there. And so being on par don't really help much.
You saw that main character from Pragmata, her hair on the Switch 2 compared to PlayStation 5.
Looked absolutely amazing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Holy shit. That shit was atrocious.
Like,
I couldn't
and so
tell the
that's
difference.
thing. I'm not going to sit and say that Nintendo is garbage. I would never be dumb enough to say that. Neither I don't think anybody on the panel would. But it feels weird that now, what is this? 1, 2, 3 generations in to 3D graphics, and they had the Switch, not 3D graphics, but really good graphic qualities. They had the Nintendo Wii, which was not aimed at that market at all. You had the Wii U, which was an open admitted mistake. Then you have the Switch that came after, and now you have the Switch 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 consoles now, and they're just now starting to be like, hey, look, we can play these games. Like, my guy, you missed it by 12 years. Like, I don't understand what the deal is. But that's just
Validation.
me
They
personally.
need validation. They're
You don't
unhappy
need
with their
validation.
console.
But you don't need you sell 58 million freaking copies of Super
Good.
Mario and freaking
I don't know
the
what to
go-kart
tell
game.
you. If it's not Xbox people, it's PC people. If it's not PC people, it's Nintendo people. Like,
Like, what validation? All they have to do is go, we're Nintendo. That's their validation. They're fucking amazing. They've been great for years because they've stayed in their own lane and carved out their own path. And now they're trying to come and compete in a space where people have already really made, goes back to the Phil Spencer quote, people have made their decision where they're going to play.
I think what happened, they got what do you call it? Their hardware, their brain got fried when they saw how much Digimon, that new Digimon game was not to say outperforming, but it was definitely way more impressive than that the newest Pokemon. How it
So,
doesn't,
sure,
yeah, and that literally pulled out, made them come out of the woodwork and trying to defend Nintendo. And ever since, we see them
oh,
now
you're talking about the
bragging.
player base. Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
more
you.
the player base is the one that's
I'm
kind of
like,
freaking out
the
over all this
Switch ain't
stuff.
struggling at all. Switch is doing just fine. Number one in their console launch, biggest launch ever, blah, blah, blah. Crushed the numbers in Japan, barely missed the numbers in North America. Like, that they are totally fine. Sorry for the noise. They
No,
are
you're good.
totally fine. And so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's real weird. It's real weird to see them coming out and going, "Hey, get Cyberpunk on this thing." Why?
But that's kind of like been the whole deal, right? Like if you again, it's if you want to get that stuff there, and you want to, for the novelty sake or whatever, cool. But like I don't understand like the aggression towards everybody else. Like that's the weird part. It's like, I bought a Switch 2, now I got to beat my chest type energy, and it's just like, no, you could just buy a Switch 2 and you can play whatever you want and you can just keep it moving. Like I don't understand the fight.
Nintendo owners have just been feeling some type of way that Nintendo's kind of been put in its own category. Like it's never really in talks with PS5 and Xbox. And so I think now that they're starting to get, some of the games that, are been staple of PlayStation and Xbox, now they feel the need to just be like, see, we belong in this conversation too. And I'm just like, it's fine. No one's saying you can't play it on your Switch, man. If that's where you prefer to play it, that's fine. But I don't think we need to be disingenuous and say that these are one-for-one comparisons and the Switch 2 holds up in power with the PS5. I'm like, come on now. Like,
they are going to lose their marbles. They are already losing their marbles right now. What happened when the most anticipated game launch out either this year or, I hope for you not, next year, which is GTA 6? What could happen to them? They can't touch that game.
Yeah, it'll be
It's
interesting.
going to remind them how they are not even in that next gen competition.
Yeah, I don't know. They said they don't care either ways. They want whatever Nintendo gives them is what they'll take, and I don't know. It's a weird energy right now.
What they're doing is what Xbox people used to do. We don't care about exclusive. We are fine with no exclusive. But the second they got an exclusive, they were happy with it. That's not what you're seeing now with the Nintendo dude. They never cared about the power. But why are you trying to compare the Switch 2 to the PS5? Like, you would be stupid to do so.
Yeah, it's just they're trying to belittle the gap between the console power, stating that with DLSS they can achieve similar graphic fidelity and all this other stuff, which we know is not the case. But I mean, it is what it is. Arguing with a wall at this point.
It's gonna be downgraded. Like, this is literally the Series S versus PS5 conversation all over again.
I mean, they know that. They just don't care. The only thing that I'm saying is I'm watching some people real closely who keep buying 2 and 3 copies of some of these games, because I'm telling you, I don't want to hear them complain. I keep hearing about people complaining about the price of games and how expensive it is to buy all these games, but you buy in 3 and 4 and 5 extra copies of some of these titles that you already played. So I don't want to hear. I'm just watching some of these people. If I catch a few of these people complaining, I'm getting them. That's my main thing. Oh, it's a couple of them.
Nintendo people should have literally zero leg to stay on when it comes to price and price talk. They literally buy 2 copies of every single Pokemon release ones because of of a few different Digimon exclusivity. They have zero leg to stand on when it comes to uh, money competition. I'm not gonna have a competition with them to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it happened. Hopefully, usually what happens after this is the next direct is actually focused on Nintendo. We can actually get some release dates on games that I actually care about, and some updates on some games I actually care about, like the Xenoblade series, like Fire Emblem, so I can get what I originally wanted out of the system, and then we can keep it moving. They can do whatever they want after that. Until we get ready to see what Monolith Soft is actually working on, if they're actually going to push for a new IP or not. That's the stuff I'm actually interested in when it comes to Nintendo. But yeah, we'll go ahead and push to the next topic here. What?
But real quick, did you see the rumors that apparently Metroid Prime didn't sell well.
No, because I really don't care. I'm gonna be honest. Metroid could fall off the face of the earth, and I wouldn't notice. So I don't even care.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I saw the rumor, but whether or not it did or didn't, I couldn't tell you. I'll wait for official confirmation. But yeah, so earlier as well, or right after the Nintendo Direct, funny enough, PlayStation decided to just tweet that the announcement for Horizon Hunters, the online 3-player co-op, I guess Horizon online game that we've kind of seen some leaked footage on, that they've now shown to the tune of kind of this Fortnite-esque art style that a lot of people have been kind of pointing out. Obviously, the reactions have been kind of all over the place. Some people are like, hey, it looks like it might be good. I've seen most people are averse whether they think the game itself might be good or not, or just kind of like they're just not feeling the art style. Some people don't really care. They're kind of indifferent on the art style. They're just curious to check out the game. I think it was smart to do the co-op thing. I've stated that a lot of great co-op experiences have kind of gone to the wayside. So if a core good game is there, when it launches, it'll stand on its own and it'll speak for itself. So we'll see kind of what happens when that comes out. They had the original trailer that was kind of short, and then they had the extended gameplay that they also put out later. I went out ahead and checked out both of those. Like I said, it doesn't look like the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just in wake the way it is every year for any of us, right? Your game, whenever it releases, is competing with whatever else you want to play. So if that game cannot supersede whatever you are currently playing or whatever you are about to play, then you're probably not going to play it. And that's where I think it's going to be an interesting issue for them to kind of come across. Once they do get ready to launch this game, is where and when are you going to fit this in throughout the year, where people are gonna carve out time to play it. I think it's the more interesting thing for me, because I'm not sure really where that is, and then based on pricing and the like, that'll also be another thing, whether or not you're going to jump in on it, right, compared to what you're playing. But yeah, Thrifty, did you see it? Did you see the reveal for the title?
Yes, I have watched both trailers a couple times, and
Okay.
then I watched It's Just Henry's 30-minute breakdown that he did on it.
Yeah, I know
And
Henry was
so,
kind of feeling it, so
he has a really good breakdown of it, and I joined the Discord and I signed up for the beta. And let me tell you, if you get away from X and go into their Discord, there are people talking about how life-changing Horizon was in their lives, the same way that we've talked about Expedition 33. Like, they know the backstories, they've gotten engrossed in all the lore. They were talking about like all of the people and how it's kind of cool canon that they don't have a hunter from the Nora tribe because of what happens in Forbidden West with the main, like, your main companion from the Nora tribe. I'm not going to try to give anything away, but like, so they're going over all this lore, talking about how Kajata should have had his own game. Like, people are actually excited. Now, is it a lot of people? No, it's under 4,000 people in their Discord right now. I just checked before I said that. And so it's not just amazing, like a ton of people, but there are people who are excited for it. Like I said, I signed up for the beta. I want to see how the sticks feel in my hand. That's going to make or break it for me. How does the gameplay feel? I play enough mid-level JRPGs that the cartoony art style I can get past if the mechanics are good, and it has a story mode. So it has a few things going for it. The downside, like what you said, though, I need to know where this thing is coming out, because if it's in May, it can get wrecked because that's Ace Combat. If it's at the end of the year, it can get wrecked because that's Wolverine. If it's earlier in the year, maybe if they're going to drop it soon, I might bump Soros. If it's, well, no, it's going to be $40. So it has to land at a point where I'm not 2 weeks out or 2 weeks from purchasing a $70 game. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can't see myself playing this over Tauros all day, every day over this one.
Yeah, we know you're a super Returnal fan. We know.
No, and that's fine. It's the idea though that they're giving. Here's what somebody in the Discord that I have put up. We've been screaming, at least a lot of us have. We want PvE, we want co-op, and we don't want to have to deal with PvP players. Okay?
Yes, this is you're literally talking my language. Everything you said is I'm with you 1000%.
Yeah.
Except you don't want this game though.
No,
Right.
I'm agree, but I don't want this game though.
No, the reason why I don't want this game is I like
It's not Power Rangers.
we all played for
Facts.
we all played Forbidden West. Look how we went from Forbidden West to here. They had a chance to give us Forbidden West, but in an online jacket, and I would have played it. I would have legit played it like
Omar, do you know how much work it would do to make Forbidden West and that
I was about to say.
particular photorealistic art style into a co-op?
Excuse you, Monster Hunter exists. What
Monster
was
Hunter is not one for one to what Forbidden West looks like though.
Monster Hunter World and the other one? I played it. It's phenomenal. They could have easily created something like that, make it gritty. Instead, they went with that art style.
Well, I think we kind of
I
know why they
guarantee
went
you,
with that art
the
style.
thing about though is Monster Hunter though, but that team is dedicated to making that game. If you wanted them to do a Horizon Forbidden West style art style, I can guarantee you we probably wouldn't get Horizon Forbidden West 3 to like 2035. So if you want them to dedicate that much resources and stuff to make it look more realistic so that they have to spend more time on this co-op game, so that Horizon Forbidden West 3 gets pushed back even farther. I mean, if that's your prerogative, Omar.
I get you, but if this game becomes dead on arrival, what then? You wasted money, resources, and everything on a dream.
Okay, so hang on, because this is where gamers are a little two-faced. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Every single gamer at some point in their gaming career becomes a hypocrite. It happens. We all say certain things and then eventually we're wrong. Like, especially with me and like these narrative titles, I'd never thought in a million years I would go back to that because there's so many other games out there. And then lo and behold, thank you, Morgan. You've done screwed up me all that stuff, and I became a
You're welcome.
hypocrite. And I'm playing freaking Coffee Talk, and I'm going over here, and I'm starting to check out other ones because of this woman right here. Like, we all become a hypocrite. So here's what I mean in this scenario. We said, hey, make your big budget game. A couple years later, give us a small $40 title. Make it a co-op title in the same universe. Give us that co-op title. We'll buy it. We'll support it. We'll give you some money while you're doing your next big game. Sony said, cool, do it. And Guerrilla said, hey, we can do it. We've had this thought. They said, great. They're now offering us a co-op title at $40, ready to go, at launch, done, story in it. Everybody gets their boxes checked, and people are griping. Yes, the art style is not photorealistic, but it's also not $70. So I don't know if I'm going to be there day one, but I do know that outside of the art style, it checks every other box that Sony fans have been asking for. And Sony fans have been saying, hey guys, y'all should be doing this. And now they're doing it. And we're like, yeah, we're not playing that. That's not the blah, blah, blah. Like, we can't have it both ways. You're not going to be able to have it both ways. The reason why Miles Morales worked as a lower priced game and was able to maintain graphical fidelity at a lower price point was because, and I fully believe this, it was a single player narrative driven title. It didn't have to worry about back end things like 4 or 3 separate sets of inputs having to be computed all at the exact same time to see exactly what's going on when and where. And every time you add those things in, those games get more expensive. That's why you don't have a Last of Us looking Genshin Impact. you have a chibi looking Genshin Impact because it's cheaper to do that art style. So that's just my thought on it.
No, I get what
No,
you're
I
saying.
agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Morgan, go ahead.
Yeah, I watched the 9 minute deep dive because at first I was just like, whatever. But I watched the 9 minute deep dive, and I actually like the art style. I think it's unique. I think it's cool. Like I like the animation that they're using with it. Yeah, it looks really fun. Like I like the fact that when they were mentioning they were doing the different breakdowns that the game has a story and that the story is canon to the Horizon universe. So anything that happens in the story that they tell is going to be a part of the Horizon franchise. So I was like, okay, so we get some more in the lore of Horizon, which is always cool. And I like the different powers that the different characters have, and it looks like it's going to be the skill tree looks interesting too. Looks like it's going to be really intricate, the different skills that each player has. What they said, they started off with 3 characters for the playtests, and I think they had 7 or 8 characters total, at least for the start of the game. um it looks interesting to me. Like I like what is he. I low key want to sign up for the playtest just to see how fun it'll be.
Yeah, I would
But
definitely
yeah,
sign up
I
for the
agree.
playtest.
Yeah, I agree with Thrifty. Like it's like people like get so angry at PlayStation all the time. Like not that they don't deserve it, because they do deserve it for a lot of shit that they do. But the thing is, it's like ever since the Concord situation, anytime PlayStation tries to release any type of like live service, co-op, any multiplayer, anything, without even seeing it, without even judging, like without even playing it, people immediately just like, oh my God, this is Concord 3, this is Concord 4, this is Concord 5. I'm like, y'all are just at this point, it's just like everybody's just being performative because that's the cool thing to be online. It's the cool thing to be on Twitter. Like just to dismiss a game immediately without even giving it a shot is just the cool thing to do. Like it's fun to hate games. It's fun to talk shit. It's fun to, do the trendy thing of just tearing a game down without even trying it. I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, this is still Guerrilla. Okay, they're a very talented dev team. The least you could do if you're interested in the Horizon franchise is there's going to be a playtest. It'll be free. Give it a chance. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine, right? You play it. It's not your cup of tea. Cool. At the end of the day, all you could do was give it a chance. But like, at least give it a chance. Like, it could be that next big thing. But again, I'm looking at like the trailer. I think like the ratio was like 3,000 or not 3,000, 33,000 likes to like 80,000 dislikes, just because people were in the comments like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Concord 4, here we go. Why does PlayStation keep trying this shit? And I'm like, y'all are the main ones been asking PlayStation for multiplayer games all these damn years. And every time they release one, y'all get pissed off. Like, what is it y'all want? Like, PlayStation players are so fucking fickle, man. They ask for things, and then when they get it, they get so pissed off. And then if they had put a Horizon 3 trailer, people would have been pissed off. Oh my God, Horizon again. Oh my God, why do y'all keep making this stupid ass franchise? Why we're so tired of it? Why does PlayStation keep trying to make this a thing? It's not a thing. Everybody hates Horizon. And that's the thing. That's another thing. Everybody in the comments and everything talking about how Horizon is overrated. Who cares about this IP? Why is PlayStation keep trying to make this popular? It's not popular. But I'm like, okay, but the series has sold 40 million copies. But they're like, oh, but that's including this and that and bundles and discounts. And I'm just like, okay, bundles and discounts accounted for millions of sales. Every fucking game would have 40 to 50 million sales. Like that's not a thing. And bundles were not even a big factor, which what was his name? Christopher Dring already said or whatever. He was just like, it's a small portion of the sales. It's like if you took out the bundles, they'd still be in the multiple millions, like 30 plus millions for the sales of the Horizon franchise. So it's the internet doing the internet thing, like just not giving the game a chance, blatantly writing it off the same way they did with High Guard. Like hated it from the moment they saw it, immediately dismissed it, pushed it to the side, talk about this is crap, this is trash, and I'm just like, y'all haven't even played it yet. It's just what the internet does, and it's kind of annoying to be honest. It because it seems to be the thing that gets you views and clicks these days. I'm sure there's going to be multiple videos about how Horizon is this new Horizon game is utter trash. And I've seen certain people on Twitter accusing the Guerrilla team of the trailer being AI. And it was like, that's another thing, the AI grifting. And then
Wow.
multiple animators had to come out and say, this is not AI, this is just an animation technique that they're using, it's called blending. And it's just this is the conversation that's been had around games now. It's never about the game itself, it's just the discourse is about, can we make this game seem trash or not? That's just kind of how the gaming discourse has become, and honestly it's very tiring. But it's like, if you honestly not interested, that's fine. But just like the overt hate for every single game people see is honestly tiresome.
Hey, Morgan, don't forget there's a big old gal in the game, and there's a black guy in the game. So
Oh yeah, so
automatically it's woke too.
It's
Remember
woke
that.
now. Yeah, so we
You
got
can't.
woke mixed with AI, mixed with Horizon's trash, mixed with Who Wants Live Service, mixed with Concord, and now we've got this situation. Like this is what's happening now.
And
Yeah.
one of the positive things I did see with the game is that at least Aloy is there in the intro,
Yeah.
and then not there for apparently the gameplay. I actually like that, because my biggest worry when this was first announced was that they were going to dilute the Aloy character so much that by the time H3 came out, I would be just disgusted with seeing her on screen. Like, almost
Yeah.
like what they did with Last of Us for me. Like,
Yeah.
they've almost diluted that IP so much that seeing Joel and Ellie,
Tell me you
and
didn't like
it was a
the
good franchise.
remaster of the remake of the remaster of The Last of Us? What?
A good, exactly. With the show and this and that and all the drama that came with that, and Neil Druckmann having to cut. No, I didn't like any of it. But what's funny is, if Horizon, you mentioned this, if Gorilla would have said, "Hey, here's Horizon 3," people would have been excited about that. But then, because it's PlayStation, the first thing out of their mouth would have been, "Man, I can't believe Naughty Dog didn't release a game. Do you see what Gorilla's doing over here? They got us a game out in 4 years. I can't." Like, it's insane that they always have to find something to gripe. Ghost of Yotei, they're being silent on the sales data. Lin Tao
Oh
comes
yeah.
out. It exceeded our
Mm-hmm.
expectations. Well, look at the wording
No,
she's actually using.
the
Shut the fuck up.
CFO is
Just be
lying.
quiet.
She's lying. Those
Yeah,
those are that's
no,
fake
she's not
news.
lying. She's dancing around her words. And I'm like, come on, guys. Come on.
Why won't they give
It's
us an exact
jealousy, I
number
swear.
breakdown? I swear it failed. It failed. Based on my projections. Okay, the graph that I just made from Microsoft Paint said that it failed. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'll be quiet on this topic now.
y'all are too funny, man. Omar, well, clearly, like you said, you're not feeling the art style here. So, what are your impressions?
No, I'm not feeling the art style, but I love Horizon. I love the gameplay. I love the lore. So I'm gonna convince my brother to play it with me, just for the lore. But and the gameplay, I want to see the gameplay how it is. I don't care
So,
about the
sounds like you're
graphics and
interested in
stuff.
the playtest.
I might sign if it depends when it comes out while I'm doing what. Because I'm not gonna drop anything that I'm gonna doing to play the test. I will see. But now that I know that
Understandable.
now that I know from 50 that it's literally gonna be canon, uh, um,
Oh,
I'm scared.
this man didn't watch the trailer because he said that in the trailer, sir.
No, I watched the trailer without any audio. I watched it on my phone.
Oh, this man.
I didn't like I didn't watch the 30-minute breakdown. I just
Sir, it was
watched
only 9 minutes. It was at 30 minutes. It was 9 minutes.
I skipped the cinematic. I just want to see how the gameplay is. And again, I am a huge fan of Horizon in general, but I'm just gonna wait and see on this one how it's going to be. I will look up when the gameplay is going to be released. I mean the playtest. Um, I do love that it's gonna be canonized. I'm curious how it's gonna impact three. But no, if Horizon gave us three, I would have absolutely joined with three. Like, I love Horizon. It's just frustrating that we got what you call it. We didn't get Horizon Online a la Monster Hunter, because that literally was
I mean,
everyone
there's
said.
that Horizon MMO, and they're possibly talking about bringing that to PlayStation. So you'll get it from that, I guess.
Which one?
The MMO that's only releasing on PC and mobile. They were saying that they're looking into bringing it to PlayStation.
I have to look that one up.
Omar, we were talking about that. Remember the ones that you were so pissed, like, oh my God, why is that only coming to PC and mobile, and why is it not coming to PlayStation?
I forgot
We had
about
a
it.
whole discussion about this,
I
Omar.
know what you're
This
talking
man
about,
said he
but I need
forgot.
to see
Oh
how.
my
Yeah,
God.
no, like I just forgot about. We have had so much Horizon Online talk that it blend together. So now we have another one and online. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna see then. But yeah, no. From the gameplay, it does look fast paced. It doesn't look like how what you call it Horizon is, which is slow, methodical, and stuff like that. The way it does look. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do when it comes to this. But I'm still not gonna say bummed, but like I'm bummed that it's canon, because now I need to play just for the lore alone, because I love the franchise.
This man was talking shit 15 minutes ago. Okay.
I literally have no idea it was canon, but yeah.
All
And
right.
I still talk shit about the art and character design, and I still do believe they could have done better, just because it, it doesn't
Okay, I
like
need you to watch the video because they explain why they
somewhat.
chose the art style, sir. No, I mean, don't just look at
Oh,
it.
you
I
mean
mean,
the
listen
breakdown?
to it.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, when the developers
Okay,
talk, you should listen. Okay, they explain why they chose the art style. Okay, which is why I was hoping that you had watched the video, but you haven't. So
okay.
But yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. Clearly, I mean, like I said, from a gameplay perspective, it looks interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Um, if we all get into the playtest, then we can all give it a shot, see how it goes, and see how it ends up playing. So right now, like I said, it's
I just need the
a wait and
combat.
see.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just need the combat not to be boring. Like, so it looks cool. Like I like what
it
they're
does look
doing with all
cool.
the characters. It looks like the weapons can like transform and transmog as you're using them for like different attacks and stuff, which looks really, really cool. But I recently played a game that was a free-to-play title. I tried it out, and after about an hour and a half to 2 hours, like the combat was figured out and it was done. And I was like, this is boring.
Which
And I
game?
can't even, it was a game that came out recently. I remember that. And I cannot remember what it was, but it's a multiplayer game. It's a new Japanese looking MMO.
Yeah, I was like, they coming
It's
out in
not where winds
droves.
meet. It's not where winds meet. It's the
Eden?
other one. Hang on. I can tell y'all in like 2 seconds because it should still be on my recently played.
Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
Eden.
you
Zero
might be
Eden.
right. What was
Eden
it?
Zero or something. It's a
It
Hero,
hack and
wasn't.
Hero,
slash.
Hero said infield or something.
Yes, Arknight's Infield. Yes,
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say
yes,
that's the
that
most
game.
recent
oh,
one that
that
came
Hero.
out.
mobile game. Okay, that mobile that went on
Yeah.
mobile. Okay.
Well, it was also a PlayStation title, and so it's like everywhere. And I tried it, and it's just so dang simple to combat. There's no depth to it. It's the same few, and so if this is like that, and this is the last thing I'll say, if this is like that, that's going to get me to just pass on it. With story or not, I'll watch a 20-minute recap of the story on Google or on YouTube.
Understandable.
Tyler, if you wanted to have depth, it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna do with this one. It can be the next, what you call it, Helldivers 2, or it can be the next Concord.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not about to go that far.
I don't know about it. It'll be a Helldivers 2, but hopefully it'll find its player base.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, we'll move to the next topic here. So in other news, PlayStation 5 has confirmed selling 92.2 million units, up 8 million from last quarter, and up 22% operating income year over year, which is a new record high for Sony's quarter three. In other news on top of that gamers can definitely appreciate, because the numbers are nice. It's always dope for more people to get in on it, elevate themselves to the current gen, including my neighbor. My neighbor just got his PS5 like 2 weeks ago, so he's excited about that,
Nice.
and enjoying. I mean, he plays games. Yeah, I mean, that's why he bought it. I mean, he had a PS4. He was one of those people that had a PS4, and he was
Okay,
playing.
so
He was
that's
playing.
He bought it for the Blu-ray disc.
Yeah, like
late comer.
yeah, he just got it late. But yeah, now he's playing and enjoying Gran Turismo in all its full glory, because he's a big Gran Turismo fan. He has a full wheel setup and all that stuff. And then he started playing Forza Horizon 5 as well. So he's having a ball on that too. So supposed to race him sometime this weekend or something and set it up, see if we have some fun on that. But yeah, so clearly more and more people are jumping in. PlayStation is, securing plenty of new players. Something that I definitely heard was a straight up lie on another show the other day, where they were trying to sell this person, on PC, and like consoles are dying and no one new's playing them and this, that, and the third, despite us having clear evidence that PlayStation has stated they're having plenty of new people for the first time, onboarding onto the platform. So again, I don't know why people feel the need to perpetuate that lie. PlayStation is sold in more territories and more countries than it's ever been, and their expansion into China is going great. It's now being sold outside of the free market zone, which is having a profound effect, and will do so exponentially more as more of these China Hero Project titles launch. Black Myth Wukong was a big boost on its own over there and heavily supported on PlayStation. And then of course later in the year, we've got Phantom Blade Zero among a number of other titles, and I know one that Thrifty is definitely excited for, which again is at another title coming that looks really good, which is Sword and Fairy 4, the remake.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's looking really good. They've clearly taken some inspiration from a lot of our favorite here with Expedition 33. So I think there's a lot of moving parts
There's
here.
no shame in that. Absolutely no shame into that.
Yeah, none whatsoever. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts here, and PlayStation is doing a ton of great moves, and all this ahead of us getting Soros, Wolverine, and eventually GTA 6 later in the year, among many other titles that PlayStation is securing for the platform, as well as another good set of news for them sales-wise is that PlayStation's CEO also stated that they have secured enough RAM for production through the end of the year to make sure that they can kind of mitigate prices and price increases for the foreseeable future, and they'll continue to negotiate and try to make sure that they can mitigate that as much as possible. Obviously, everybody's aware of the Rampocalypse going on due to AI, which is, in great news. OpenAI is struggling to death, hopefully actually permanently, and there's a huge backlash and whatnot, where there's a lot of things that people hadn't considered or investors hadn't considered. Everybody kind of did the "I told you so" thing with that. So thankfully we're seeing a lot of backlash happening in the AI field where people are not using it. It's not giving an ROI, and it ultimately costing a lot of these companies more money because they're having to hire or rehire some of the same people they let go at higher rates in order to come in and fix the code and fix a bunch of mistakes that the AI made, because investors thought they were going to have digital co-workers who weren't going to complain and they were going to cost no money and they were going to make all this extra money, but that did not happen. So yeah, in the meantime, PlayStation has secured what they need to make sure they can kind of weather the storm, at least for this year. So, which is great because that's the time when they really need it. You know, when a lot of their major titles are going to be launching, when they're clearly going to exceed 100 million consoles, and then we start to climb to see how much further above 100 million PlayStation 5 is going to go. And I think, all things considered, it's looking really good. Like I said, everything is up for them right now, looking really good. One of the things that was confusing for some people is that I guess one of the other metrics was down that I don't have the report on, but it's actually not down.
It's the hardware revenue.
Yeah, but like the thing was, they went up. It was actually because they went up so high in the previous one that it basically had to come down. So it's not like it's not a negative in the way that it looks. But yeah, like I said, overall this is looking really good, promising. Everybody is well aware of what it means, to secure more people for your platform. More players means more, developers want to bring their titles to your respective platforms, as we are aware of. And some people are aware of how that affects them not getting, plenty of specific titles. We kind of had that conversation before we went live, where Omar was saying he was surprised by some of the results of the GDC, where they, surveyed what would they want to work on. And PlayStation is obviously heavily up there, with PC, Steam being the highest, given the amount of, indie developers and whatnot that launch on Steam first. But yeah, I mean, it's clear that, developers know exactly where they want their games, where they're putting their games. It's kind of obvious. And, PlayStation continuing to sell is important. Again, people thought that, selling hardware, selling, accessories, and being a successful brand was unimportant for some reason, but clearly it's not. And, shout out to PlayStation. Hopefully they keep it up, bringing us more good games as a result. But yeah, Morgan, what was your opinion after seeing this? The results for the PlayStation 5, selling 92 million. Is it par for the course? How are you looking at things?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really good. And from, PlayStation execs themselves, they kind of exceeded expectations on a lot of their numbers. And they're looking, they're very happy with I'm sure, with the numbers that they've seen right now with the 92 million. And I'm sure that's going to cross over 100 when GTA 6 launches, in preparation for that. And they also said that they secured the RAM chips so that hopefully this will mitigate the fact that they need to do a price increase again. Hopefully they can keep prices where they are or even lower them. That would be preferable. But, they've been able to secure the chips, which is good.
Which is it's on sale right now for like $374, by the way, for people who don't know.
Oh, which one?
Like
the Slim?
The Slim is, yeah. So a lot of people were saying they're like $500, and I'm like, no, you can get it for $374 at Target, Walmart, and I believe Best Buy.
Oh,
so yeah, man, people need to jump.
Yeah. They've reached a record number of for their MAU. I think they went up to from 129 to 132 million. So that's and their total gameplay hours have been increasing year over year. Honestly, this looks like PlayStation's not slowing down, which to surprise to everyone who, like you said, claims that console is dying and that nobody cares about console anymore, nobody cares about PlayStation anymore. It looks like they're still on par with PS4 and they're doing well. And then of course, their big first party release for 2025, Ghost of Yotei, is doing phenomenally well. It's surpassing Tsushima in the current trajectory. Against popular, or should I say unpopular, belief of the grifters who swore that this game would tank and it would fail, and they call it woke and all this stuff, and it never would do as good as Tsushima. Yeah, the numbers don't lie. And the numbers are saying
PlayStation not bet more than grifters.
I
I had
know.
no idea.
And now we have the grifters claiming that we have executives over here committing perjury and things that would get them felony charges because they don't want to admit, because they want to one up the grifters. Like, they care so much about the backwater of Twitter that they're lying so that, they can just, dunk on them. Apparently that's on the executive's mind, right? Because they know everybody on Twitter. But yeah, I'm really happy. I loved Ghost, phenomenal game. I'm so glad that they felt the need to tell people this and shut down the lies that were being spread about the game. And it's kind of proven the point that Twitter is its own little petri dish that where reality just kind of avoids half the time. So yeah, it's funny. But yeah, glad to see PlayStation's numbers up. And from certain podcasters that names I will not mention, because I know we're going to talk about Xbox's numbers and things like that, and I'm not going to go deep into that right now. But I was told that the reason Xbox numbers were down was because it wasn't Xbox. It's actually the industry. The whole industry is down. Everybody's down. So, Xbox's faults aren't their own. It's just the way the industry is going right now. But, the data from PlayStation is kind of looking the opposite. Like they're having a better year, one of the best years of their generation right now. And so I'm just kind of scratching my head as to what these people were talking about, that this was an industry-wide issue and that nobody's numbers were looking good. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what the rebuttal for those certain podcasters would be. But yeah, good to see it. And for people who wonder why, someone like me would care about console sales, and it doesn't have nothing to do with like fanboy, fangirl shit. It's purely because the more numbers that you have, the better support you get from third-party developers. And that's been proven a fact throughout this generation, throughout last generation too. More developers and more studios are willing to work with you, which means more games that you get. We saw it with Dispatch. They even put it out in a statement that they were only releasing on PS5 and PC because, they have a small budget and they want the best return that they could possibly get on their investment. So they're going to put the game on the platforms that have the most people. So when you have the most consumers, like you get that kind of thing. If a studio has a limited budget and they are incapable of putting their game on every platform, they'll choose, the platform that has the most gamers so that they can have a possible better return for their investment. So I'm always happy when I see PlayStation numbers go up because that just means it'll help us secure more games. And as a gamer, that's good for me. So
exactly. Because if it ain't about the games, what are we talking about, really?
Yeah, that's what I care about. I don't give a fuck about that number for PlayStation. Like, PlayStation making their money has nothing to do with me. Yeah. I don't see any return on that. Okay.
You recognize the meanings to the end.
No, I mean, no. I'm talking about as far as, the money they get, like the $500.
You don't get it from money, but what you get it is prioritized.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. I don't care about, their old PlayStation's making bank. Like, who gives a fuck? Because like I said, I don't see any of that money. Okay. I care about being prioritized as a customer. So the more consoles they sell, the more games I could potentially get, which is good for me because I prefer to play on PlayStation. So if more developers are willing to develop for my preferred platform, I get excited. So this is why it's good for me.
Agreed. Yeah. You want to make your platform unmissable. You want that profit to look so good. How many
games have announced that they're not coming to Xbox? And when people ask why, they were like, well, we have a low budget and we really can't afford to just put it on the platform that is probably not going to support the game. Like, too many games have said that. And I know it upsets Xbox players. I get it because, that's your preferred platform. So you obviously want games to come on, where you want to play. But that's just kind of the reality of the gaming situation now, right? Like, unless, your Xbox is willing to give a bag to a developer or a studio, it's that's not a AAA big like Ubisoft or EA or something that can afford to put it everywhere, and that's just kind of the situation that arises. It sucks, but I mean that's kind of the path that Xbox took.
No, I agree. Yeah, when people always ask us, why does it matter? Why do you pay attention to this stuff? And it's like, that, well, the trends don't lie. When companies, like, that's how companies gauge their potential investment. They look at the numbers and they say, well, this amount of players, equals this many potential users, especially when they're looking at other titles that might be similar to what they're developing and go, well, this game, sold 10 million. If we can get half that, we'd be ecstatic. So that's a no-brainer that we need to launch on that console. That's the kind of numbers they're looking at. And it's like, I don't know how people don't get that, or, they want to remain ignorant to that. Again, that's fine. I've got friends that are definitely like, I just want to play the game. I don't care where it came from. I don't want to know nothing else. All right, cool. But, that conversation is still important. You don't have to have it. But those of us that do understand why it's important, and what goes on behind the doors, business-wise, that results in us getting and securing these games. One of the titles, there's titles right now that we're looking forward to that aren't necessarily initially going to launch on PlayStation, but there's ultimately no doubt that a lot of these titles, regardless, are still coming to PlayStation, if not by launch, shortly after, because, again, it's positioning itself as an unmissable platform. And that's what you want from your preferred platform. Anybody who doesn't want that, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, shout out to everybody who in the chat, man. We live today. I see even my boy Brat made it, Mars, C Fresh, Viper, Hero, Will, obviously Thrifty, who jumped in the chat with us. Quiet Doom, Wolfgang even made it. So, the whole chat is live today. And then M from Porter Rocks Podcast, he also made it through and caught us live. So, yeah, shout out to the chat, man. It's been a lot of fun. Everybody's saying Morgan is cooking. As usual, Morgan's the favorite.
Thank you. Whatever.
Mars goes, who's that?
Honestly, y'all should hear me, like, off of Discord. Me and Nate argue all the time. It's like we're always talking about this stuff, and, we have to agree or disagree sometimes because it gets heated, but, it is what it is.
She like arguing with me while she cooking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. Whenever she cooking, I think it's because she ain't ate yet. She be trying to give me a verbal ass whooping. So, but it happens. It happens. I've lost plenty. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I like my W's, but I'll be losing them sometimes. So I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, Omar, how are you feeling after seeing the results of your preferred platform? Their performance and what that means for you.
So, console sales do matter, apparently. Not to mention, they tried content, like they lost their voice and their fingers from too much typing, trying to convince us that PlayStation had a deal with Wukong being timed exclusive. Like, you prioritize the console that make you money. We've seen it the opposite effect. Yeah, we've seen it with that 100 something that created from Sony affiliate uh, studio, which is a game is only on the Switch. And now
Yeah,
they
you're talking
plan
about
to port it
the 100 Line Defense Academy.
Yeah, now they plan to port it to Switch 2 instead of for PlayStation.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Because that's where the number is. Which, again, they explained that the studio literally was on the brink of death. And this game saved them. So, yeah, it goes both ways. So, but with the 992 plus million, it's crazy, dude. The fact that they were able to get to such length in a pandemic, nonetheless. Because, yeah, pandemic came and went, right? But the effect it had is still, like, we're still seeing till this today. Welcome to game releases and stuff like that. Um, I'm curious, will it ever rival the PS2? Will it break the PS2? I'm legit curious.
Nah, I don't think it will. Nah.
What was PS2? 150?
160 as of this point.
So,
Yeah.
mm, it's going to be interesting if they're gonna delay the next gen or not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
oh, but
that's the questions right now. How
yeah,
much can we get out of this generation? When to make the transition? And does it ultimately matter
Yeah.
versus your competition? PlayStation always moves very carefully, very specifically. They're well aware of when their competition is going to launch, and I think they know when it matters. Like honestly, we've seen what happens when consoles launch, right? How long it takes, specifically Xbox, right? Especially if this console, funny enough, is what they think it will be. It's actually less of a reason for PlayStation to care about launching then, because
Yeah.
ultimately it's just going to be a PC. So it won't even really matter, right, to them. So wait that extra year, secure, an increase in the tech, make sure, you've got the latest of whatever you need, and launch an incredible console and continue to dominate that field.
And
So yeah,
maybe delaying it will help them avoid the the RAM shortage and everything like that, and like
exactly,
the price hike of all these components. Maybe by the time they do release in 28 or 29, if they decide, because we don't know, right? If they decide
mm-hmm.
to delay the consoles, it could be in our best interest that we could maybe get like a $600 or $700 PS6 that's not the 1,000+ console that I'm sure, or PC that I'm sure Xbox is going to be,
Exactly,
and it'll look pretty good next next to the Xbox slash PC thing, right? Like you can get that, and that I think it's cool. It has its perks and advantages, but if you're just looking for like a console that's gonna play all your games, then here's something in the console range, the console price range, that's a little bit more palatable to like the wallet.
exactly. No, I agree. Yeah, go ahead, Omar.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
I I just love the people that are trying to downplay Yote numbers. Like they know better than PlayStation. The fact that they believe, and you said it, Morgan, but it's so laughable. They truly believe that PlayStation would lie to their investors
You
just
got
to
to keep
pass
the grift
them up.
going.
Like, that's crazy that the people like this exist.
I mean, it's unfortunate because the people who are doing that, they've made what, like, I've seen dudes who've made 50, 60 videos on Yote and the fact of how it's failed. So it's like at this point, it's not like you can just go back and be like, okay, guys, you see all those 60 videos I made about it failing. Okay, I was wrong. Like they're just going to double down because they don't want to take that L. You've invested too much time, and you've probably gotten a lot of clicks and money based on the fact that you were telling this lie. So you just have to keep the lie going. So, I mean, it is what it is, keep grifting, but it's not going to stop the game from being a success.
They what you call it? He need that money, huh? He is getting sued, if I remember correctly. So he need to pay the bills. And grifters eat it up. But if you look at the screen right now, this is one of the most anticipated game I'm excited for. Uh,
Oh yeah.
but going back to it, it's crazy that people want to be. They would rather be this gullible than accept reality for what it is. Like when PlayStation fuck up, we're gonna mention it, but like when they're doing good, hey, at least acknowledge you was wrong. But they can't do that, which is laughable. They truly believe PlayStation, what you call it, are counting bundles or whatever. Like what makes you feel sleep better, dude. As for me, I'm legit excited what door is gonna open for me with PlayStation reaching such milestone. We have seen what PlayStation is doing with what we call it, China Hero Project. Another game was unveiled like a few days ago where you can make use of um, time travel. So rather going back in time. So I'm going to be interested to see how many more games can coming off of Sunny Hill Project. And as you can see, PlayStation still keep investing. We got Wukong. We're gonna get a lot more games, and I'm all in for it. Can't wait.
Yeah, we also have to remember that Ghost is going to get another leg because we got to remember Legends is also coming out and they haven't,
Ooh-wee.
given us a date for that. That's
I'm
going to be
so
like
excited
another
for
hype
that.
train. I know it's going to be another hype train for Yote. If you thought it reached its peak with sales, it'll be back when they do Legends because they're going to do it.
Oh,
I
they're
just
gonna
know they're going to
cry.
take it to another level with this one. So
Is it Legend
yeah,
free?
yeah, it's free.
Oh, they're gonna cry.
Mm-hmm.
Because Legend is gonna make Yote tell even more, so
Yeah, that's what I'm
they're gonna
saying.
cry so much. Oh, I I feel bad for them, but at the same time, they created
Nah,
this for
nah.
themselves.
I feel
For
absolutely
themselves.
perfectly fine. Them getting exactly what they deserve.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it
you
doesn't
actually reminded
matter.
me. I've completely forgot about Legends, and I really enjoyed the
Mm-hmm.
first one. I made it to like level 106 or something on
Yeah,
the
they
other
kind
one.
of
So
put that trailer out there, like, oh, just so you know, when they did the state of play, Legends is coming back. It was quick, but yeah, it's and if they release that this year, that'll be just another, PlayStation first party little, title sort of for people to play, and Legends is fun, so
yeah, it was pretty
yeah, I'm excited for
extensive
that
this
one.
time. It was pretty extensive the first time around, more than I thought it would be. So, like you said, I think they're going to step it up quite a bit. And since it's free and pretty much everybody in here has it, all the chat. So I definitely look forward to playing that with some of y'all in the chat. If we haven't played anything lately, I'm gonna be on that Legends. So definitely, if you see me online, hit me up. I think I have pretty much everybody that was in here
Oh yeah, I'm
on my friends
absolutely day
list.
one
So
with Legend.
yeah,
Hmm.
I
I'm
And
can't
gonna
you'll
play
have
the
wait
all
to
the
brakes off of
get it.
different.
that.
I'm sure they'll incorporate Atsu's different weapons too for the
Mm-hmm.
characters in the game. So that'll be interesting for the gameplay.
Agreed. Uh, see,
Can't wait on Legend.
Thrifty is back. I know you talked about this. We talked about this on your show with the famous bean counter, as he refers to himself half the time, Falky. But ultimately, from a more, like I said, fun perspective, about what it means for you, seeing PlayStation success, with these numbers, Thrifty. How are you feeling about it, and how does this make you feel about PlayStation's future?
So you mentioned it before, and you mentioned this repeatedly when folks say, I don't know why a gamer would be interested in the back end dealings of what goes on for these businesses as long as we get the games. And your retort is always, listen, there's gamers who love the games, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
gamers who love the games, but we also love the industry.
Yep.
The industry is extremely interesting right now, especially since we saw this trajectory 6 years ago. They started announcing the PlayStation, the PS5. Everything was going great. It got a really good build up. Cerny came out, did his thing. There was a lot of speculation around what the PlayStation was going to do. It came out, it delivered. Xbox came out, did not deliver. And so from that point forward, we had had a constant string of Xbox screwing up, PlayStation capitalizing, PlayStation screwing up, Xbox screwing up again. And so because of that, what these numbers tell me, it's actually kind of hard for me to make like a distinction of how much of their growth is Xbox gamers coming over versus how much of their growth is just PlayStation knocking it out of the park. Because on some level, if your enemy fails in a roundabout way, you succeed. Okay, it's just natural. If I'm in competition with another company and they start failing, and because of their failures, I get more clients, then my profit goes up, my revenue goes up, my operating income goes up, and I can usually hire more people, getting stuff done more efficiently, and than the other company. Therefore, I bolstered, which is what Sony is doing right now, and we see the other one dwindling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the first things that I take away from it, is that it's very hard for me to be one way or the other on, did PlayStation knock it out of the park, or is this still trickle down effect because Xbox is having year over year, year over year, it gets worse and worse and worse for Xbox. Like, They're not selling more consoles. The gap isn't shortening or isn't lessening between year over years. So is this just the natural outplaying? PC players have grown, Xbox players have grown, PlayStation player base has grown, Switch has had its best launch ever, and Xbox is still dying a very, very, very slow and painful death. And so because of that, I think you're having 30 to 40 million gamers. It's not unheard of to see 10% of those 4 million leave and go over to a different platform. That kind of makes sense when I look at the monthly active user growth. And that's only solidified more by the Playground virtual or gaming camera unit thing outselling the Xbox Series X and S during the holidays. Like, all of that culminates in what I think we're seeing with PlayStation's numbers. I could be wrong. It could be because Ghost of Yotai sold so damn much that everybody wanted to play it, and they're coming over. And now that Soros is coming out, people want to get their consoles. Now that you have Wolverine coming out this year, people want the consoles. And so you do have things that PlayStation are doing correctly, and it's nice to see that. Also, I will say this. One of the things that I really liked about the financial report has already been hit on, but Ghost of Yotai checked my number one box for if the game was a success or a failure. The company said it was a success. Done. Shut it. Hush. Be quiet. Sit back down in a corner until you're ready to be spoken to again. Because the company freaking said it was a success. And I know, because Xbox ruins everything, people are going to point to Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks, and go, well, they said it was a success. They're two different companies. Once again, sit down in a corner and be quiet until spoken to. Because they're not the same. When Sony says something was a success, we get DLC, we get a sequel, we get more game content, we get thank yous, we get reports, we get all this other stuff. And when Xbox says a game was great, they shut down the studio. They're built different. So that's the other thing I got from it. Also, with the amount of operating income they have going up, that tells me that they have been very fiscally responsible, which is one of the things that was a big issue before Hiroki Totoki came in and did all of his bullshit. And now Nishino and Herman Holst have carried that on. And you can see when you get more operating income freed up, that means either A, you fired a bunch of people, or B, you're being a little bit more smarter with your money and getting more out of your dollar than you were before, or your yen in this case. So I like that I see the numbers up. Fact of the matter is, I care about two numbers, and I cleared this with Falky to make sure I wasn't overstepping when I simplified it down to this. I want to know I want to know what your revenue number is, and I want to know what your operating costs are. Because if not operating income, I want to know what your operating costs are. Because if your operating costs go up and revenue goes down, you are in a very, very bad spot. But if operating costs go down and revenue go up, or operating costs stay the same and revenue go up, you're in a much better spot. Because then you're making more money at the same dollar amount, or you're making more money at a lesser dollar output, which is great. That's what you want when you talk about ROIs. You want to put in the least amount possible and get back the most return. And so they're passing with all of the numbers that they have out right now, and they're growing. And anybody who wants to say, we can talk about the others, we can talk about all the scenarios maybe surrounding it, what happened, why it happened. But the fact of the matter is that PlayStation is in a damn good spot. They've been in a good spot. They have secured a shipment and said, hey, during the 2026 year, all the way through the holiday, you're not going to get a price increase on the PlayStation because of RAM. That's amazing. To be able to come out and say, hey, we've done that, all that does is solidify that they're going to hit another 12 million this year in sales, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And we're going to be at what would that make it? 110 million by the end of the year, passing up the PS4, passing the PS3, and passing the PS1. Or wait, passing the PS4 and the PS1.
Yeah, they're going to pass the PS1 pretty soon.
Yeah, they're only 2 million away from that.
Yeah, they passed the PS3 already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they passed. That's what I was thinking. Because PS3 was what,
Yeah.
80,
Mm-hmm.
87, 88?
Yeah.
So yeah, they've already passed. Sorry, I'm driving, so
No,
No,
you're
you're
good.
good.
You're good.
Wait,
I don't have Google
for a
instead of
person
me.
that's driving, your audio is perfect. There is no
Oh, well,
background
thank
noise
you.
whatsoever.
We'll attribute that to Discord, but no, it was really good to see because I honestly expected a down year. Just because I thought last year, for me personally, I was happy with PlayStation's third party offerings and Ghost of Yotai, but the first party offerings didn't do it for me last year. And so for me, PlayStation was down a little. This
Yeah.
year, on the other hand, is my year with PlayStation. And so I'm excited. It tells me that my company is not in danger. It tells me that my console is not in danger. It tells me that if I keep purchasing games for this console and for this platform, I don't have to worry about them going open platform and turning into a PC. Like those aren't things that I have to consider. And so yeah, it should put gamers' minds, it should give them a vote of confidence is the way I would say it. And that's what these things are for. They're to give the investors, they're to give the people who actually have stake in the game a vote of confidence. And I think that these numbers show that and they prove that. So that's it.
No, I agree. Perfectly said. Um, yeah, I think, like I said, right now, you said they're in a good position, and I think it's up to PlayStation to really put their foot on the gas. And hopefully they realize that, because they could see a significant increase in purchases, across the board, be it hardware, gaming, services, etc. If they do so, and I think they should.
That just reminded me of Hitch, where he's like, listen, I'm going to get you in the door. I'm going to set up the moment. Your main job is don't screw it up.
Yeah,
That's it. So right now, you're right there. We are here. We're on our first date. We were at the door. Now you go 90. We come 10. Your main job is don't fuck it up. So
yeah,
that's what PlayStation just needs to be focused on now.
agreed. Yeah, capitalize on all the success you've had so far. Keep expanding in all the different territories. Making sure you're available everywhere. People want a PlayStation. And just kind of go from there. Making sure you're securing these second and third party titles, as well as making sure to get these first party titles out the door in a timely manner. And I think, honestly, they're setting themselves up well to do that. And we just got to wait and see this execution, starting with Saros. Like I said, which I know quite a few people are excited for. So I'm excited to see how their first party major title comes out and does this year. I think they're just in a really good place, and I think all this does set that up for that. So I agree. So again, in the opposite way of things, funny enough, we also got the Xbox reports, right? And this was something you guys went over on your show as well. Ultimately, in their results for their fiscal year ending, it said they were down hardware 32%, which is really no surprise to anyone. Really they're only been going down in hardware. But one of the key factors that was kind of weird was they also went down in their services, which was interesting because in the interview, or the I should say the investors call, Amy Hood also stated they're projecting to go down even further, because they're stating basically the release window, basically their release pattern. They're stating they did really good releasing on PlayStation and so on and so forth when they did Forza Horizon, and then gaining some software sales and whatnot, and that kind of boosted them. But then in some of the holiday titles they secured, but then they're still projected to drop this coming year, despite them supposed to be releasing a gang of titles this year as well. But they're stating they just don't think they have as much, and so they're expecting a further drop. So in celebration for PlayStation and all their, things going up, looks like, despite, the acquisition of Activision, which is part of the reason their revenue is where it is in the first place, they're still not getting to those crazy margins that they thought, that Amy Hood, originally put in place and kind of mandate on everybody. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where Xbox goes after these financials. The other thing that's interesting is, of course, despite, all the downturn and, negatives in their report, a lot of the fan base are still ecstatic and still anticipating this new hybrid, or whatever console it turns out to be, which gained a little more fire this past week after the AMD CEO spoke about Steam being on track to launch early 2026, and that the Xbox research and development for their next new hybrid console, what have you, is slated and lining up for 2027. So it's got a lot of people hype and excited. Again, I personally don't get excited before I see something. I need to see what it is, what they plan to do with it. If it's, like I said, if it's actually the hybrid, that personally interests me less than anything, ultimately, because I have a PC, and I would think anybody who's on PC, you would not really care. You've already got that, or you've already most likely got a computer that, especially if you've got a computer that's already better, right? I know Mars was in here earlier, and I know he already has, a top tier AMD build as well. And then, my PC is already on the 5090. So again, that doesn't interest me. A hybrid system basically being a PC for all intents and purposes. I can already emulate or do whatever I want on my PC. So again, that doesn't interest me. I don't think it's going to interest as many people as they think. Like I said, listening to another podcast the other night, they're just like, man, if this can give this perfect experience where it's a console experience, but the freedom of a PC. And I'm just like, I don't understand where people are getting this confidence from when Microsoft as a company is really struggling right now, just to do basic updates for Windows 11. So I don't understand why they think this programming prowess to program this flawless entity of a new device that's going to perfectly blend PC and console experience into a intuitive, easy to use, console like experience. So yeah, I'm in reserve on this. I'll see what happens. Color me extraordinarily surprised if they actually manage something like that, given that they can't even get their current situation together, as well as whatever happens with this AI investment that they pushed out, what they're also struggling with. So Microsoft, so it's not just Xbox, that's having an issue. When your parent company is having issues, that's a whole nother thing. Like I said, they've done a lot to kind of facilitate their AI push as well, and it's not really going well. Microsoft is kind of forcing it into MS Paint and a bunch of other places, that basically trying to up the number to look like a ton of people are using Copilot. And then they're even talking about implementing it, directly into the Xbox and stuff like that. And I know they have in some capacity already. So I'm not really sure where their priorities are for people to be so ecstatic about a potential device from them. But yeah, with these numbers and whatnot, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to some of their titles, so at least that's the good thing that I can say. I've already pre-ordered Forza Horizon 6, the special edition or whatever, their VIP edition, whatever they like to call it, for PC. So I have ordered that, and I know quite a few people who are excited to play Horizon when it finally launches on PlayStation. I know they wanted to launch that simultaneously, but they couldn't get it out the door. And then of course, Fable, and hopefully they actually get it together with State of Decay, and stuff like that. So title wise, that I am excited for quite a bit that they have on the docket if they can get it out and nail it the way they should. Because from a quality standpoint, I feel like that's really the main thing that Xbox needs to be focusing on, and Microsoft as a whole as a company. Quality, not quantity. They need to stop releasing broken updates. You need to start making sure these titles are coming out, at top quality. You want everything to slide out that door as a Game of the Year contender. When you launch, at least to the best of your abilities. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Morgan, after, seeing the results of the quarterly financials and hearing about the 2027 launch potentially for this new hybrid device, does that change your opinion on Xbox's trajectory, or, does any of this entice you beyond being excited for some of their games?
Listen, I want to title this segment of the podcast, "This is Why Sales Matter." Okay? We look at the numbers that Xbox has just released for their quarterlies. The gaming revenue decreased by 9%. Their content and services went down by 5%. And their hardware revenue dropped by 32%. Now, listen, we all know the hardware is dropping. Like, we all know the reasons why. It's to be expected. I don't ever expect, anytime we see the quarterlies for Xbox, I don't ever expect to see the hardware go up. Like, I always expected to see it go down, right? And I think the executives at Xbox are the same. Even Amy Hood says she expects it to keep going down next quarter, right? They're getting to the end of their generation, right? Their 2027 is supposedly when the next one's coming out. They've kind of already written the Series S and X off. Like, it is what it is at this point. But the other two numbers over here are just a little concerning. The gaming revenue going down and the content and services going down is not really a good thing. And honestly, what's surprising the most about these financial numbers in particular is that this time we know why. They usually don't play the blame game over at Microsoft. Like, they don't particularly point out who's at fault for their numbers going down. But Amy Hood, for whatever reason in her soul, felt the need to say that content and services and gaming revenue going down is based on the first party content. So she immediately blamed Xbox's first party games for the reason that the number their revenue was going down. So this is all I have to say. This is why when people kept saying, why aren't gamers giving Xbox credit for 2025? And if you're unaware, Xbox, as far as the quantity, had a great 2025, right? They released a bunch of games, right? But the quality of said games has, a little asterisk next to it. They had games like Doom, South of Midnight, Ninja Gaiden, Outer Worlds, Grounded, 2, Avowed. And I would put the majority of those games in they were cool segment. Like, not great, not terrible, but they were cool. And the problem is that when Xbox decided to do this third-party strategy, right? And they decided that we are now becoming a company that's going to release on all platforms now, right? We're going to release on just not ours, not just PC, but also PS5. And now we're seeing, they're slowly getting into the Switch now. Now that you're trying to get customers to actually, pay for your items, right? People who can't just go to Game Pass, you actually have to sell a game. And I feel like Xbox has forgotten how to sell games, right? Because they've been doing the Game Pass strategy for years now. And it just seems like they've forgotten that, oh, wait, we actually have to sell these things, right? And there's a reason they went third party. People keep saying Game Pass is sustainable. Cool, but it's not enough, right? It's not enough. They need the sales as well. They need PlayStation gamers, PC gamers, and maybe sometimes every once in a while an Xbox gamer to buy their games. And the issue is that in a competitive year like 2025 and especially like 2026, being good or good enough is not good enough. Okay. There is competition. There are plenty of games coming out every other week that are just bangers, right? That are just memorable, that are just taking gamers' attention. And you can't just release a mediocre game at $70 and expect people to flock, right? Because people were so confused. Why? I don't understand why Avowed, and I don't understand why Outer Worlds 2 didn't sell that well. Like, I have nothing against Obsidian. I think they're a cool studio. Matter of fact, the game that I liked, Pentiment from them, was actually a success. But they came out and said Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed were failures. Like, they didn't meet expectations. And the reason is because Obsidian is a studio that makes AA and single A games, but for some reason Microsoft prices them like they're AAA. Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 should not have been $70. Right. They tried to make Outer Worlds 280 and people were like, hell no. And so Xbox had to backtrack and make it 70. But 70 was still too high. Outer Worlds at most should have been 60 or 50. Right. We have a game of the year of 2025, right? With Expedition 33, a game that all of us played, all of us in this panel platinumed, right? We spent over 100 hours in this game and it launched at $50. You know? And it's like, then you have Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded and launching at full price, and people are expecting a game that scored 80 and 82. Not that Metacritic is like the end all be all, but like the general feel around the games where they were cool, they were okay. But being okay isn't $70. You shouldn't be paying 70 for just an okay experience or a good enough experience. A game needs to be exceptional, right? And I think that's Xbox's problem, right? They released a lot of games in 2025, but they weren't in any way exceptional, which is why when the Game of the Year awards came around, they didn't have any games up there nominated. They had like, I think 2 or 3 nominations, and it was for like a couple of their smaller games and like the like accessibility stuff, like those categories, not the bigger ones. And people were so confused. Xbox released like 20 games. Why don't they have any nominations? Because the quantity was there. The quality was missing. And so, and now we're seeing it in real numbers. Amy Hood pointed it out herself. The reason our revenue is down is because people weren't buying the games. And people weren't buying the games because there's competition, and $70 is way too much to be spending it on okay games. And like, and they pointed out a lot of the Obsidian games were like broken and are still kind of broken on PS5. You can't release a game on the platform that doesn't have Game Pass, you know, the platform that you expect people to buy your games at full price, and then release the game broken. Release the game in a way that's not up to par with the other platforms. I'm not paying full price for a game that is not up to par. Like, that just does not make sense. And it's just a continued pattern from Xbox. Now, 2026 looks like a much better year, okay? Because 2025, I didn't care about any of the games they had. The only game I played for them was South of Midnight, and I didn't care about none of the rest of those games. You know, that's just me. That's my taste, but 2025 wasn't for me for Xbox. 2026, though, looks much better, right? They have Fable, which I'm looking forward to. That's day one. I'll probably play Gears day one. You know, if Clockwork Revolution makes it out, I'll play that. State of Decay 3, I'll play that. Like, you know, if those games make 2026, but it's a much better trajectory for they like they're gonna finally meet that quality bar. And then of course, you know, Forza is coming out for the people that want it. You know, Forza always hits for the fans. So it's like it's much better this year, but I think Xbox is starting to realize that they can't just release okay games. Like, it has to be a certain standard. And we're seeing that reflected in their financials, right? Amy Hood, chief finance officer, literally pointed to first party content. And then on top of that, you know, they ended the year 2025 with a terrible Call of Duty game, right? And it seems that COD, whether they like it or not, is going to be a big factor in how their revenue plays out. If COD's good and it sells well, the revenue will probably be at least stagnant or it'll go up. But when COD is bad, their revenue goes down. So it's like COD is like the anchor of Xbox. And if it is not good, the Xbox company is kind of in a bad state, right? I think for the first time, Call of Duty kind of fell out of the top 3. It's usually like the top 3 in sales for the year, and it was like behind freaking Borderlands 4. Like that's in terms of sales, that's insane to be honest, because Borderlands 4 wasn't even that fun, at least to me. But it was behind Borderlands, and then I think like 2K and another game I can't remember, Monster Hunter Wilds. So yeah, behind all those games, and it was like number 4. And then it was like number 7 or 8 on PlayStation's top list, which is insane because it's always again at the top 3 for PlayStation, but it dropped dramatically because Black Ops what was it? Black Ops 7? Yeah, Black Ops 7 was terrible. Like I didn't buy it. But I saw the gameplay. Like I usually, I used to get COD yearly, but COD's fell off the face of the earth in terms of quality. But this year particularly has been terrible. That campaign, look, I watched it. It was awful. And if COD doesn't turn around, I feel very bad for Xbox because again, their revenue stream and profitability depends on how well COD is, how good of a game it is, and how good it sells. So if it doesn't sell good, then Xbox is in a bad place. So again, I think they're definitely going to be on which I think is Treyarch that's making the next one. They're going to be on their ass to make sure that this is a quality COD because they can't have another failing COD again. But who knows if GTA 6 does come out this year. And it does make that November date, which is looking like it's going to. They reiterated it from Take-Two's financial statements that, hey, we are going to make the date. So we'll see. But if it does, I mean, again, COD's going to have competition again because if people have to choose between spending 70 or possibly 80 for this GTA 6 or COD, I think GTA 6 is going to win. So, COD might take another hit this year. But honestly, this all just kind of, again, just cements whether or not Xbox is going on the right path, right? Because this whole third party situation that they're doing, we're kind of integrating into PC. We're moving all of our our fans over to PC and things like that. This is kind of that weird test generation. I think we're really going to see whether it works or not with the next generation. Whenever you try something new, numbers are going to go down, things are going to happen. So you can't really know if it is negative or positive or not. You got to wait till like the next iteration to see if your plan worked. So it's really going to be cemented when the next generation comes. And I know y'all were saying like, I don't know how many sales they expect for this next Xbox, but my guess, if I had to guess, their internal projection is very low. Like they understand that the number for their consoles have been going down. Xbox One had 50 something. This generation is around 30 something. So it would probably be smart to guess that, as far as who's left of the loyal diehards who will buy hardware from us, it's probably around 15. If we're lucky, 20 million. So I don't think they're expecting this much. And they're going to price it in a way that every system they sell is going to make them money. So I think they'll be kind of like how Valve is with like the Steam Deck, where you really only buy it from them and they make it to order so that they're not making a surplus. They don't have a bunch sitting in a warehouse not making them money. They'll make it based on demand. So that way they don't have to worry about losing money for these expensive PC hybrid consoles that they're making. So I don't really think they care. They no longer really care about the hardware. It's more about the content and services now, which is why the number being down is not a good look. But then Satya tried to kind of play it up but our PC and cloud are doing great. And I'm like, you see how they're completely like just doing a 180 from the console itself. Like they see that the trajectory and the money that they can make is no longer from the console base, but it's more from towards PC and cloud now. And it's not really about the people that are in the system, the people that are holding the platform that, that they built. It's people outside of it now that are making the money. But I think that'll soon change because I have a feeling they're getting rid of PC Game Pass. they're going to integrate that into Game Pass Ultimate. Right now they're not going to because there's still growth in the PC sector. They still see growth. But as soon as that growth starts stagnating, that PC Game Pass is immediately getting integrated into Ultimate. Which is going to be a hard pill to swallow for the PC fan base, because I think, PC players don't really put up with that. They don't really put up with high costs. So it's going to be a lot of people,
about to cut that off immediately.
Yeah, unsubscribing immediately and just going straight to pirating, which is an option for them. They could just pirate the game. They don't have to give you the money. They're Game Pass, but they could just take it, right? So yeah, but because their next system is going to be a PC hybrid, they're not going to have a choice, because if I own the next PC Xbox, what's to stop me from just using PC Game Pass? Like, I would rather pay $15 and get all the games day and date than pay $30 for Game Pass Ultimate. I have a PC, so I should be able to use PC Game Pass. So I think I think the launch of this next system, PC Game Pass is getting integrated into Game Pass Ultimate, or whatever they call it now, especially because you just know, because they hide PC Game Pass now. Like, you can barely find it. You have to go and actively search for it to find it on their website. They do everything they can to kind of hide it in the background, to be like, oh no, just get Ultimate. No, I want PC Game Pass, thank you. But yeah, these are drastically low numbers. It'll be interesting again to see if the quality bar is high. Like, I know Forza is going to hit. Forza always hits, right? The question is, will Fable hit? Yeah, Forza is going to hit, absolutely, and it's going to sell very well, because Forza always sells very well. So I think that'll do good for them for their spring quarter or summer. When is it coming out? In June? I can't remember. It's June, right?
Good point. I don't even know, and I haven't.
Whenever that comes out, I think it's gonna do very well for their summer numbers. May. May is spring, right? May is spring. So that'll do well for their spring. You'll see that revenues probably will shoot up, right? Because it'll be released on Xbox. I mean, it would have been even better if it was on PlayStation. That number would have skyrocketed if they had.
The number would have been great. I think they would have done 8 to 10 million.
Yeah, to be honest. I think that's probably what they wanted, but it just during development, when they moved over to being third party, or it's probably just a lot going on. They was trying to get it just just to get it down for PC and Xbox first, then we'll work on to getting it on PlayStation. But the number will shoot up when it releases, and I think it'll definitely be dependent on how the quality of Fable is. Like, if they can actually get that story and that Fable feel to hit, I think Fable will be a mad success, because I'm getting that day one, right? And then they have the Gears E-Day. That's going to be a big one, going back to the origin story of Gears. It's going to be apparently a lot scarier. So that'll be, a big one. And then they bringing Halo back. They keep calling it like the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, with, all the OG titles with Halo, Gears, Forza, and Fable. So they have the opportunity to bring these numbers back. So it's not like they're dead out in the water. But yeah, 2025, quantity was there, quality was not. And we're seeing that. Like I said, this is why I was not giving Xbox any kudos, because I was like, I don't care about any of them games they released in 2025. Nothing did it for me. So, and we see that reflected. But yeah, I went on too long. Sorry.
No, you're good. That was well said. TJ was kind of going back and forth with some of your comments, but agreeing. Sorry, you caught me while I was eating.
Oh.
But no. And then another conversation that came up, Henry and TJ were talking about as well, and Henry was saying that if they don't get a game of the year nomination this year, it's probably never going to happen. And yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say. I mean, if provided all their games that are supposed to come out hit. Like,
I know even though Forza's a great game, it's not going to get nominated because it's a quote unquote car game. They never nominate car games.
Yeah, racing games never get nominated.
But Fable absolutely has the potential, right? It's the story narrative driven game that the Game of the Year awards loves. So if that story can hit, and if they get the gameplay and everything right, because apparently they got the gameplay directors from CDPR. They got some people from there, which is why when I looked at it, I said, "Oh, this looks like Witcher. This looks like Witcher-esque gameplay." I was like, I know what I see. I was like, I knew it. Okay. But yeah, if they can get, I want to see a deep dive. I want to see what they kind of did with Starfield, where they had the Starfield breakdown, that hour long thing, like after the summer showcase, they had the little hour long Starfield showcase. I think they will do that with Fable, because Fable's their big kind of holiday game. So
I think they would be smart.
I would expect that. Yeah, I would. I hope so. But or maybe they'll do it with Gears. It'll be either Gears or Fable. But I really want to see like a deep dive, because they only kind of went surface level with everything they do. Like, they kind of gave us like a checklist, like you could do this, and this, but they didn't really kind of break down, how it plays out, how it'll affect everything. I'm really curious to see how this 1,000 NPC thing happens, or if this is just kind of that kind of Starfield thing where 1,000 worlds, like, well, yeah, but not really. 1,000 worlds, but they're all empty, bro. So it's like, is it really like 1,000 NPCs with different dialect? Is it really different, or is it just like they all got like 3 lines?
Yeah.
I want to see more. I want to see their breakdown. I'm hoping for the best. Like, I'm not rooting against them. I don't hate Xbox. I want this game to succeed because I love the Fable IP, and I think I'm so glad they brought it back. And it looks great on the surface, right? But I just need to see what's going on under the hood. But yeah, I'm hoping the best for Xbox this year.
That hate Xbox? Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm an Xbox ambassador.
Oh, I mean, I was one. I mean, it's still on my profile though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of us are looking forward to a lot of the titles they're putting out. Just hopefully, like I said, the quality matches our excitement for a lot of these titles. So, and that's really the thing.
Please, Xbox, don't mess this up, please.
Yeah, and then
I'm super excited for Fable. I can't wait for it. Let's hope they nail it. I could get see this one doing phenomenal, but I fear that the people that are gonna hype up Fable the most, they're not gonna play it.
No, it's a Game Pass. They'll try it out. They get a couple screenshots.
A couple screenshots.
Yeah, but they need sales. Remember, not.
I mean, they do. They do need sales. I think PlayStation players will buy Fable though. I mean,
yeah. When
it's their type of game.
Yeah, I think Fable could do well in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Like I said, it really just.
My brother is ecstatic for Fable. He's been flipping out. Oh my god, they brought the system back. They brought marriage back. Oh my god, like he's been flipping out.
Too bad it's not day one, but hey.
No, it is day one.
It is day one.
Day one? Okay, yeah, no, then.
The only game that's not day one.
Yeah, Fable isn't. Forza isn't day one, but Fable is.
Oh yeah, Forza.
Yeah, Forza's just coming out too soon, so they couldn't get it completed for PS5.
Yeah. Forza will come out later this year on PlayStation, but Fable is day one on PlayStation.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Omar. I mean, I know we said a lot, but if you had any additional thoughts,
I need to implement a new rule. No one is going after Morgan. you stand no chance.
Oh, sorry.
You have absolutely no chance. She covered so many topics.
She hit all the points.
And she nailed every single point. So what am I supposed to say? This?
Hey, look, if you say, hey, Morgan killed it, nothing further to add, hey, that's a fair response.
I am curious about a few things what Morgan said, which is basically Borderlands outdid COD. What happened to COD?
I know, that's why I was like, huh?
Well, Call of Duty had like a 60% drop in expected player base. Now, don't get me wrong, like no one's saying it didn't sell. Like COD always sells, but like a 60% drop in expected sales is crazy.
It just didn't land where it usually does, which is like the top 3.
But why? What's going on? What's happened?
Oh, it was just not a good game. Like it was terrible this year. Like the gunplay, the campaign was terrible. It just like again, I think a lot of studios are learning that they just can't coast anymore, coast off of the name. Like Ubisoft was trying to do that, coast off of just being Assassin's Creed. Having the Assassin's Creed name is just good enough and people will buy it, but they realize they can't do that shit anymore. And COD's realizing that too. Like COD has this mentality that it's too big to fail. And it's like, obviously you'll still sell, but if you want to keep your top spot, you're gonna have to bring the quality. Like you can't just be, okay, we're COD and we've added these couple of changes. But again, they're trying to cater to like 16 different fan bases at one time. That's COD's problem. Like they're not, catering to the hardcore fans anymore. It's like, okay, we got to get the Gen Z. Oh, we got to get, so we got to Fortnite it. We got to put all these crazy ass skins. We got to make sure you're fighting Nicki Minaj versus Family Guy. Like, bro, come on, man, it's COD.
Yep.
You're doing too much.
Yo, this is crazy. I'm legit mind boggled that PlayStation, not PlayStation, COD, Borderlands outdid COD. Like, yeah, no, it like, does everything on Xbox does turn to shit?
I
Well,
mean,
to be fair,
I was gonna
COD
say
was
in
on a
their
downward
defense,
trajectory.
yeah, COD
Anyway,
was already on its way down. Like they've
yeah,
been screwing
I
up for
won't give
years.
Okay,
Xbox
okay.
the L on that one.
And also, we saw a lot of not great, like new games come out, like Ark, online, this
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Ark and Battlefield really kind of put
A
that
Battlefield. So
boot
yeah,
on COD's ass.
basically what Innate always talk about, you need something to keep people engaged. Otherwise, people are gonna leave you and go somewhere else. Like, if your game becomes stagnant. But yeah, going back to Microsoft, console sales, we're not surprised. Nobody is surprised. We're not covering that. This is not the covering part. However, what do you call it? Gameplay or game time, uh, game number drop. That in that concerning because of their output last year. Yes, it was quantity over quality. Mind you, I didn't play Ninja Gaiden or a lot of their games. However, Ninja Gaiden is a big IP, and for it not to move a needle like that, that's crazy. I did read
Oh
that
shit.
Outer Worlds 2 and
And they, can
about
you sorry, Omar, can you undo what I just did? I was trying to reply to TJ and I accidentally hid his messages. I did not. I'm so sorry, TJ. I did not mean to do that.
who.
I don't think you. I
The
don't think you
TJ guy. I was
can. I don't think you can undo
My
it.
bad. I am so sorry. That was not my intent. I was trying to reply to you. I hit the mute button. I'm so sorry, TJ. Please don't be mad. If when you get back on, I apologize. That was my
Let
fault.
You
me
can
let me
hear us, or?
let me pull it up.
Okay.
See
Because
if I
I
can
think
do it.
you're a mod, right? Like you're supposed to be able to.
It says you unhid him. I think it was just yeah. I mean I know how it is when you're on mobile or whatever and you're trying to like the
Yeah,
buttons
I
are.
tried to hit reply and it hit like hide message or mute or something. I'm so
Okay,
sorry,
so
TJ.
he
He saw
replied
your
no
message.
problem.
He saw your
So
message.
it's fixed.
Trust me,
Okay.
he's on another podcast, TJ, so he knows like how
Yeah, no, I'm so
it
sorry.
can
You know who you
accidentally
are.
happen.
Yeah, no, we don't have this type of shit here. We allow free speech. But
My bad, Omar.
going back to it, going we need to go back to what she said. She wanted that 21% margin or something like
She said
that.
a 30% margin.
No chance in hell. Absolutely no chance in hell. If one of your biggest IP, or rather your biggest IP card, is doing like that, I don't see any of your games moving the needle. Like to move the needle, you need a gigantic new IP that becomes like a God of War or a Last of Us or a Horizon. And sadly, Microsoft, Xbox, from the look of it, doesn't seem to have anything that could rival that. Fable I think it might, but you have one. You need multiple. Gears is gonna be interesting. Cause it's gonna bring up old characters, so beloved characters, so people gonna want to play that. Forza
Uh,
is Forza, of course.
Honestly, my biggest hope is after they do this, I honestly hope they let it, if they're still developing, I hope they let the Gear Studio make something else. Like honestly, like they gotta let these
I think
studios do more.
I think they're gonna do what they. I think they're gonna do kind of what they did with 343, which is now Halo Studios. Just
Hmm.
make them a Gears Studios. Like it's unfortunate because I agree. I think that they're talent, especially with UE5. They're one of the few
Hmm.
developers that can really push UE5, right? And imagine what they could do with their own, with making a new IP with their engine. Well, not their engine, but their capabilities with UE5. I think they would be very. I think it would be good, but again, I just think sometimes when it comes to Xbox, especially when they're core
I
studios, they just like to keep them making one thing, which is why I was surprised they let the Horizon team make Fable. I was like, oh shit, they're making something other than Forza, like
Yeah, that was just fine. My question is like, they say something like 30% margin, and then what you call it, Double Fine reveal that pot game. I'm like, who are you targeting with this one? Would you rather not be working on a Psychonauts 3 or a different new IP? Like, I don't know. To me, uh, uh, I access, I think, on VGP podcast, but do we know what PlayStation and Nintendo margins are?
Well, most companies actually don't have margins that high. That was a discussion that was heavily on Brap and him and
CJ
Logic
Mhm.
were
just said
talking
that
about it.
apparently Capcom have 40% margin.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say some people don't have some good margins, but I'd have to I'd
But
have to see
Capcom,
that. I
Capcom has a
haven't
lot
looked it
of
up.
online games, right?
Capcom has a lot of stuff going on too. Um, it really, I think it probably depends on their quarter. Obviously they're
Yeah,
about to
it's about to
release
go. It's
Resident
about to,
Evil.
because I know they just released that statement that the Resident Evil, the pre-orders are like higher than expected for Requiem. Like I know that's
Yeah,
going to do crazy numbers. Requiem's going to do insane
Damn.
numbers.
So
yeah.
instead of saying our numbers are down, no, our numbers are way up. Yeah,
Hmm.
Capcom
Well,
can.
and the other thing to keep in mind with Capcom is other games did better than they ever expected. Like Monster Hunter Worlds did like stupid numbers to the point where
Yeah.
the recent Monster Hunter they felt like was causing people like the disappointment for some people in the recent one was actually causing sales to surge in some of the older titles. So Worlds
Eh?
was getting surge sales on Steam when that title came out because there was a bunch of issues with it at first with
Yeah.
optimization and a bunch of other stuff, and a ton of people were like, hey, I'll just go drop $20 or whatever and get Worlds with all the DLC and we'll play that.
Damn.
Yeah, so Capcom is in an interesting position with some of their titles, but yeah, I would think they were one of the few that are having margins like that because a lot of people don't. Like a lot of people have really great profits. Like it's not that they don't, but the margins are
But
usually
PlayStation
not.
and Nintendo don't, right?
I think PlayStation was at the time they reported was like 23% or something like that. When I'd have to defer to
Which,
Yeah.
Logic.
Yeah. It's 20 something.
Yeah, it's like
which,
it's 20 something.
yeah, like I can't see Xbox reaching the 30 mark. I just can't.
Yeah, and I agree
Yeah.
with
It's
what
because
TJ said that they
Microsoft.
have a lot of the higher end stuff, but I think it just depends on what those things are generating and when, right? Like he mentioned, Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls has a pretty stagnant thing. Like they know what they're gonna get, right? Because it's a monthly subscription. Then you
Mhm.
have so unless they launch a
Fallout
new,
76.
yeah, they'd have to launch a new expansion or something to expect a boost, and then Minecraft kind of same thing. Like they have to. Minecraft is consistent, but Minecraft is unless you're purchasing something within Minecraft like microtransactions to get a big boost, they'd have to like be coming out with something. So I think that would be, it would have to be crazy. Like all things would have to be aligned, I think, for them to get above. But like even like some of the most successful companies don't have a 30% margin, which is not to say they're not successful. They're super successful, but a 30% margin is high. But yeah, I mean it's going to be hit or
I think
miss whether they hit it.
it's not just that it is high. It's with Microsoft on placement, it's ridiculous. Like if PlayStation said that, like we're like, okay, that makes sense for PlayStation. They're gonna release online games and stuff like that. But with Xbox, they already have multiplayer games. What else can they release to the
See,
point
I
that they
I
might
think
hit
it's
numbers?
well, because the 30% is a Microsoft wide thing. So even like the Windows team, the Surface team, like all their AI teams or whatever, they all have to reach
But
30%. So
everything combined. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. No, I'm just saying each sector has to reach 30%. So Xbox on itself has to reach 30% margins. But the thing is, it's like I think a lot of that is due to the fact that they're now having a more multi-platform strategy. So they believe like, hey, we have PlayStation, we got Xbox, we got PC, and now, we see with the director putting a lot more of their games on Switch now. So we have, a much wider consumer base. So I feel like they thought that the 30% was reasonable. Like since we're multi-platform now and we have all this potential consumers, you guys should be able to reach 30%, right? And I just think again, it it it's gonna just boil down to the quality of the games because $70 and it'll probably be 80 sometime later this year or next year is asking a lot from people, and there's a lot of competition this year. We all have like 78 games that we want to play this year, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna boil down to the quality. Like if they can convince people to pay full price for their games, then yes, then the revenue will go up and they may be able to reach expectations. And I think they can do it this year. Like we just listed all the games, Forza,
The only
Fable.
the only way to do that is by removing day and date or delay day and date on Game Pass. Would you not agree with that point?
Um, Again, it depends on the game, right? Because like COD sells very well, 80% on PlayStation, regardless of obviously because PlayStation doesn't have Game Pass, but they get a lot of sales from PlayStation. Not last year, but the year before they did when the quality wasn't so bad. But if the game is good, like Fable, if they can sell a hell of a lot of copies on PlayStation, because they're gonna sell a hell of a lot of copies of Forza on PlayStation when it comes, regardless of Game Pass, they're gonna sell because what they sold 3-4 million
Yeah, I think
of Forza Horizon 5.
sold 2 or 3 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
so they're
it
gonna
did
get
numbers.
sales.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like
no,
again, they just
yeah.
got to
Go ahead.
hit. They just got no. You're good. They just got to hit. That's the thing. They got to be able to convince PlayStation players to drop that $70 or $80 that they want. Because even like and Nate was day one with Forza 6, and he bought like the super deluxe edition that's like $120 or whatever. He already pre-ordered that, like it's locked in. So even on PC, even though he can just get it on Game Pass, right? Because he has PC Game Pass, but
So
he
he's
wants
gonna
the
double
Ultimate
dip.
Edition. Well, he's not gonna double up. He just bought it. He just bought the Ultra Deluxe Edition, um, because he wants all of the bells and whistles. He wants it because you get early. What you get it 2 or 3 days early or something like that too.
Yeah, I get
Is
like
you get
3-day early access, and then of course, I mean, I get to play at 165 FPS with
yeah.
full ray tracing.
Yeah. So he wanted everything with it. So he's a Forza fan, so he bought it regardless of the fact that he could just get it on Game Pass. And that's what you have to do. If
Oh
you
yeah,
make a great enough game, people
we
will just buy it,
yeah
Hmm.
we seen it with Weeb. He tried PlayStation 3 and Game Pass and then bought it to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
It's
and
Saying
then
it just
Josh
has to be a
did
good game.
point out that a lot of the other divisions do have 30% margins, which is where that came from.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the reason those those other divisions have 30% margins is because Microsoft is basically the only game in town on a lot of
Everybody
those.
say yeah. Yeah, for Windows and Azure and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, like they got like one other major competitor for Azure, pretty much. So yeah, so they basically could go as crazy as they want, because they know a bunch of these business companies, like a lot of these businesses, are not going to leave them. You know, they charging crazy numbers for Office 365 and all this other stuff. So yeah, their margins are crazy because the overhead is so low for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, TJ made a point. He said don't remove day and day. Game Pass makes around $5 billion now with the subscription. It's a $360 a year. They're making their revenue. Yeah, like they already made that bed. There's no removing Game Pass at this point. Like,
yeah, I think Morgan I think your point was right. The quality has to stand to make people who are not in Game Pass want to feel like it's worth the purchase, regardless of Game Pass, right? And then the other key thing to remember is the reason I purchased the game that way is because everybody in Game Pass does not get access to everything I get access to. In Game Pass, you get the standard edition of Forza Horizon 5 or Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah, they're no longer doing the
stuff. Yeah, you don't get the whole
discount.
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, they're no longer doing they used to be if you subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate and let's say you wanted to play, you know, Forza Horizon 6 day and date, right? Obviously the game's going to be in Game Pass, but the Ultimate Edition is not. They used to let you get the DLC or the upgrade for a discount because you're a Game Pass subscriber.
Shoot,
but now you just have to pay.
If you had Ultimate, you could get everything. Gears 5 was like that. You got the whole shebang. You got all the characters. All the skins, you got
now
everything.
You have to pay the difference. So if you want the Ultimate Edition, like if you want the Ultimate Edition that Innate has, and you want like the 3-day early access and all that stuff, too. You have to pay an extra $60. Like you have Game Pass, and then you basically paying, you know, another, you know, for a full price game, you have to pay extra $60 to get the Ultimate Edition, which kind of sucks, but at least you get the base game, I guess. So there's incentive with that, but they kind of took off the perks that you used to get for Game Pass because they're kind of tightening the belt up over there. I just hope they don't increase Game Pass again this year. Like,
man, it's looking crazy. This year about to be crazy. Like we got
I mean, they could justify it. They got all these games these actually, you know, good games coming out. They could be like, you know, we got Forza, Fable, Gears, Halo. You know, it's gonna cost us some money, guys, to release all these AAA bangers. $35 a month, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's crazy is like the main stuff I'm really looking at that's even going to hit it this year, though, is like I'm pretty much like we're purchasing it. Like I know Replace was just on the screen.
Oh God,
you're looking forward to that. I guess you'll probably play that on your GeForce Now, if you still have it. I don't know if you still have it.
The Steam Machine comes out in time.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Speaking of which, because that supposedly is kind of getting a delay to like Q2 or something. I don't know. But I don't know what they're talking about.
Replace is coming out pretty soon. So.
No. Steam Machine.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting balance because, like I said, like I don't need it for Forza because, like I said, I got the 100% join on that on Steam. I want Replace. Like I've been waiting on Replace forever. I would be getting that on PlayStation if it was launching on PlayStation, but they locked that down for PC and Xbox, so I'll be getting it.
Yeah, I think that'll take them a minute if they ever do come to PlayStation, just because we've seen how long the development's taken on this game. I think that'll take them. I feel like it'll be like another year before that comes to PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think I stood a chance against you? You broke it in such a way. You went to a different topic and you nailed it. Shout out to you, like legit. You were fantastic.
I mean, we talk about these things a lot, so.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Xbox, do better. Good luck. Don't.
I think they'll have a good year. I feel like, at least I hope. I think they'll have a good year. I know Forza will hit. Like I don't have any doubt about that. I'm hoping Fable will hit. I have a good feeling that Fable will hit. I think Gears will be good.
About last year, they thought they're gonna hit as well.
Listen. For me, I didn't care about any of those games last year, so I wasn't.
I get it.
Yeah, I didn't care. But this year, it's looking like I feel like Clockwork Revolution is not coming out 2027. I wish it was coming out this year.
I wish it was coming out.
I don't think it's gonna come out this year. They need.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Which is why I think you're gonna hate me for this one. State of Decay 3 is gonna be an next year title.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's coming out this year. I think if it comes out, God, because that could be canceled for all we know. it'll be a 2027, 2028 game.
Yeah, like we have way too much. We have Forza, Gears, and Halo, the first
I mean, I
Halo
hope at
remake.
least we see like a trailer at the summer showcase, like,
We
and
might.
be like 2027. Like, even if it's not coming out this year, just show me, just show me that it's still alive. Show me,
No,
give me some hope.
if if listen, Halo, Gears, Forza, and
Halo, Gears,
Fable,
and Forza.
that trifecta is literally in 1 year.
Yeah,
If you can't move the needle, then they need to pack it up then.
yeah. I think I have. I'm giving my hope. You know, I'm giving my hope to Xbox. I think they can do it. I think they can do it. I think we'll see
Hey,
Fable
we are going day
at
one
the
with
Game of the
Fable
Year awards.
and see how it is. I'm not gonna lie, I hope they drop a Fable demo, but I don't think they're gonna do that.
Nah, they won't. But
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they have to. They need to make. They need to work too much about it. I'm looking at this. What you call it? The title you just mentioned in it a few hours ago. I can't wait for this one. Number 4, the remake.
Oh, Sword and Fairy.
Yeah, like that
Yeah, it looks
shit
good.
look another banger, dude.
oh shit, damn, Reanimal comes out next week.
Oh yeah, shit. I thought that during that.
Yeah, I think it comes out on like Valentine's Day. I think.
Okay. Well, I will see when I get to it.
Wait, when is it? Yeah, I am so confused about Valentine's Day. I feel like they've been promoting Valentine's Day as the same day as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like literally 7. So next Saturday.
Okay, so
Since today's the 7th.
okay,
Yeah.
I was like, that is so weird. I was like, why would they do that? I was like,
there's some game I know that's coming out next week. Like I was like, what is it? And I was like, oh yeah, Reanimal.
yeah, that's
And Reanimal's doing that
snuck up real
cool
fast.
friend pass thing that It Takes Two and Split Fiction do. If you have a copy, you can share it with a friend for no extra charge, which is cool. I think more co-op games should do that. That's awesome.
Agreed. I think EA should get off their ass and give us Army of Two. I mean, speaking of co-op games,
Yo,
I miss Army
oh,
of Two
Army
so
of Two
bad.
gets so bad. Jeez,
It used to be my jam. Don't worry,
that's
man.
about to be in the IP jail forever.
All right, I'll take aggro. Run the chromed out weapon so you get more aggro.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Damn.
that was my jam. I know
I used to play
some of
the
y'all
hell
in the
out of
chat
that
probably
on the
don't
360.
remember Army of Two, but Army of Two was straight fire. The game was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the rest of the stuff we can cover later because they're not determinate on the week or whatever. But yeah, like I said, appreciate everybody for coming out. It was a lot of fun. Everybody that come in, everybody who joined us, that's here all the time, new people. It's cool to see TJ drop in as well. Like I said, I saw Brap and everything earlier. Josh made it as well. Henry,
Shout out
of
to Thrifty
course.
for coming through.
Yeah, Thrifty coming through on the mic. C-Fresh, I think I said Hero's name already. I always shorten Hero's name too much because I don't ever say the whole thing. And then, like I said, it's C-Fresh, and then Will. That my chat for whatever reason is not going far back enough. My other chat, but I know everybody else that came through as well. Of course, Viper. But yeah, man, it was
Mars Zeppelin.
Yeah, Mars coming out of nowhere, talking hella trash. I was like, Mars is hilarious. So he'll send you the bag if you boot me.
I'll do it for free.
Yeah, I mean, he got the bread for that. So so you
don't even have to charge for that. You just ask. I'll boot an 8.
But yeah, it was again a fun podcast, man. Again, just a lot of fun with the chat, a lot of engagement, a lot of great topics, man. And ultimately, remember, man, at the end of the day, despite all this nonsense on Twitter and people fighting over who gets to how excited they are to play the most compromised version of a game, ultimately it's about the games.
Right, chill. Let them Switch players have fun, man.
Nah. I mean, I got one too. I was playing my Switch last night before I fell asleep, on it. But yeah. Let's go ahead and get to our outros. Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for everybody coming through. Thanks for the chat. The chat was always active. And apologies again, TJ, for muting you. That was not my intent. But yeah, just leave with the message of basically don't let people, whether it's like online or people just discourage you from playing a game that you're encouraged about. Um, especially Twitter, it's a very negative place and negativity seems to thrive. And that's what seems to run on the algorithm because, that's what makes money. So don't allow it to bring down your excitement. If you're excited for a game that nobody else wants to play, it's okay. Be excited for that game. Don't let people ruin your excitement. Whereas a lot of great games, a lot of great games I want to play that I like, that I think nobody I know is playing, and that's okay because they were games that I want to play. And what I purchase, what I play has nothing to do with anybody else. So don't let anybody discourage you from playing anything or playing on anything, whatever platform you want to play on, whatever game you want to play. Just play your games and enjoy your games. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at ChillBandit and on PSN at ChillBandit92. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out. See you next Saturday.
Otter Nation. And then Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
Okay, shout out to everyone that came through. Hit that like button. Share the stream out. Shout out to Thrifty for joining. You can find me Carbon Kotjab on Twitter and Vitamin G. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that between the day change and just a lot of people not being able to join. We might drop it. I need to talk to the crew. But yeah, play your game, and like what Morgan said, don't care what others say. Play what you like. Be excited about what you like. Don't let other impact your own enjoyment. Because at the end of the day, it's about you, what you
Thanks.
enjoy, not what someone else enjoy. If you love multiplayer, play them. You're playing them, not me. It's your enjoyment. I love Wukong. Others hated Wukong. My experience with Wukong is amazing. If someone else didn't enjoy it, it's not gonna take away from my enjoyment. But yeah, I'm being long-winded. Also, as always, I don't say it, but shout out to N8 for streaming and taking care of the show. And Morgan forgot Alternation.
Oh, you're right. Well, you said it for me. Otter Nation.
You forgot it.
I said
Oh
it
man.
too.
Oh, you did? Oh, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
You didn't hear me
Thank
when
you.
I said it?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh man, I know you forgot to say it, so I said it.
Man.
Look, I was trying to help you out.
Shout
double, remember, we was not there.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to our sick podcast member Weeb. I hope you feel better, and he would definitely kick my ass for not saying it. So I apologize.
Yeah, that was soon. See you next week, maybe.
Yep. And then yeah, so as of next week, speaking of which, definitely trying to work it out, but I might have to wait a week or something. They're making some schedule changes at work, so I may have to work this coming Saturday. So I did.
Oh man, so a stream without an ink. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, okay. Unless you gonna host, man.
I'll figure it out. I'll Google it. I'll figure out how to work Discord.
I could teach you how to host. Like, that ain't no problem.
Oh man,
but
all the responsibility. No, I'm good. Too much pressure.
No, but I mean, my computer's right here. I work from home, so I can still host the podcast. I just can't.
I will definitely report you to your work.
I can host, and you can, and Morgan can be the talker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. If it's not, depending on what happens this week, it might not even be enough news for us to care. To be honest, like, I mean, we try to do it weekly, but honestly, we might go bi-weekly because like gaming news is just slow as hell. Like, gaming is booming. Like gaming itself, like we literally can't keep up. Any of y'all that are in, the chats that we're all in, in Thrifty's Discord, or if I'm in a group chat with y'all know like gaming is going crazy right now.
Don't break Morgan and Weeb heart. They love the show. I love the show as well. But when we don't have topics, Morgan is literally dragging me from my head to create one just to be on the show.
Morgan's just trying to toughen you up. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to get you to open your creative mind. You know what I'm saying? And explore.
Yeah, unlock that third eye.
But yeah, trust me, Morgan would definitely cook breakfast and sit on her couch with her green blankie and be fine. If we had to go bi-weekly, she'd be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're playing Reanimal next week. It's okay.
Yeah, that game. I'm glad you said something, because you would have been like, "You ready?"
It's actually the 13th. I looked at it. It's the 13th, so it's the day before Valentine's Day. So
okay.
Friday.
Yeah, I definitely would have looked at you like, "Ready for what? Like, what are you talking about?"
Like, we playing, right?
Yeah, like playing. Yeah, I'm playing something. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I would have been completely lost.
Shameful.
But yeah, like you said, ultimately, yeah, like you said, play what you want. Like Henry said, he's still out there playing high guard to the death of him. He don't care.
As he should.
As
he fucking should.
We be giving multiplayer hella smoke in Thrifty's chat, but Henry be, he a trooper. He be in there like, nah, I'm playing this. So yeah, like I said, man, even if
I see Henry's post about high guard, he make it look fun though.
Oh yeah. When somebody's good at it and they really enjoying it, like a lot of stuff can still look really fun. And yeah, he is the resident multiplayer fun guy. So yeah, he's all about that. Yeah, I like I said, play what you want. Like everybody said, at the end of the day, can't nobody stop you. It's a personal hobby. Play what you want. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna catch no smoke, because I be talking hella crap. So I'm not gonna say that.
Avoid it, Nate, on Twitter. He talks like if you're playing a game he does not like, he will definitely let you know. And he's so rude. I try my best to get him to stop doing that, but I can only do so much. I'm only one person. And I'm like, why are you they just enjoying the game? He's like, nah, fuck that game's trash. And I try my best to pull the reins, but he don't listen. He's hard headed.
Look, man, like if I catch you with a 5090 or a 5080 and a PS5 Pro and the Switch 2, and you purchase the Switch 2 version, and it looks like butter got smeared all over the screen, I'm gonna just ask some questions. I'm just curious. What made you pick the butter smeared all over the screen version? Like, I'm
your
just
passive
saying.
Aggressive ass.
I'm just saying. Nah, but yeah, I got a Switch too as well. I feel y'all. When Fire Emblem comes out, I'm gonna be on my Switch Nation stuff. Like, thank you Nintendo for finally giving me what I actually wanted. But yeah,
that's when he turns into a Nintendo.
temporarily. You know what I'm saying? It's like a transformer thing, put out the call to all my Autobots type stuff. But yeah, man, we're going to get up out of here. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. Shout out to Kay, enjoying her escapades with her daughter, who got to join her on her truck. And, hopefully Weeb feels better. So
we miss you, Kay.
Indeed. But yeah, but it's portable. Exactly, Henry. But it's portable. That's my favorite line. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise we're up out of here, man. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.